What's going on, y'all? We are live at South by Southwest, and this is the best place to be. We are live at the Mainstream House. You know, this is a place where we're literally bringing Web3 to life and Metaverse. You can literally check out the Metaverse right now. We're streaming live, and look, right now I'm sitting with Meta One. What's up, y'all? How y'all feeling? G Meta One, how y'all feeling over here?
Oh man, it's amazing, man. It's amazing to be here. It's a blessing to be here, sitting on this couch with my brothers. G Meta One, Meta Academy, biggest crypto player ever in the building, Mainstream House.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and you know, crypto is becoming such a big thing, man. With the metaverse and Web3 is just growing, man. It's such a emerging, just what's going on. It's where it's at. If you're not in, you better get in. So look, we got to thank some of our sponsors real quick first. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Flash Party Photo Booth. Shout out to Hint Water, Topo Chico. We have a whole bunch, Boat Culture, Warrior GMR Foundation, Inflow Music. Man, it's so much going on. We got, and then you know we got our artists coming up too. So look, this is G Meta One, right? So we finna start the G Meta Showcase, correct?
Let's get it.
Is that what this is?
Yeah, we streaming live in the Metaverse right now.
We got an artist. He's coming all the way from LA. He goes by the name of
GoPro.
Lambo GoPro. So
Top
Lambo
10,
GoPro, you gotta give it to him, brother.
Let's go. The core is short, so I appreciate y'all fucking with me. I appreciate y'all. Let's rock. Hey, this one for my dog Dom. I appreciate you, bro. I don't know where you at.
Lambo.
I appreciate you, yeah. Let's go. Let's go.
Married to the game, I swear I gave it all to me. This that shit you ride to, tying up them cleats. I lost the field and found the field all in the same week. They proud of me and doubted me all in the same week. They turn their back on you and treat you like you extinct. But you got pride in you, so right for you and don't blink. Try not to think when I heard that cage go clink. Try not to think when I heard that cage inside of me. Married to the game, I swear they gotta find me. They locked my brother up, the same they locked me. He found the streets and he was hungry like we can't eat. And I've been balling on the field, can't take no defeat. We tryna blow it all, that Neiman fucking receipt. And I ain't never been no basic, bitch, I'm elite. I come from bottom, cause that shit was really believe. I lost some homies, they turned sex, so I press I wake up, get a bag, and next day I'm gon' repeat. My heart feeling cold, so I bought some bangers. Married to the game, I swear this shit is part of me. I'm married to the game, I never sit in nosebleeds. I'm married to the game, oh. Let's go. I've been married to the fucking game. I'm married to the fucking game. Married to the game, I swear I gave it all to me. And it's that shit you ride to, tying up them cleats. I lost the field and found the field all in the same week. They proud of me and doubted me all in the same week. They turn their back on you and treat you like you But I got that pride in me, so when I heard that cash go, try not to think about all that pain. Let's go. Hey, turn me up. Times 2. This is the second song, let's go. And she love the way that I'm dressing, but I ain't orange. And God showed me that I'm a blessing, so baby, it's stamped. I've been smoking weed, yeah, I've been stressing like pass me a branch, whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah. And she love the way that I'm dressing, but I ain't orange. And God showed me that I'm a blessing, so baby, it's stamped. I've been smoking weed, yeah, I've been stressing like pass me a branch, whoa, whoa. Pressure, let's see you what wishes. You broke a home washing dishes. I'm in the field 4th inches. I'm on my place, on my fitness. I catch the vibe of the Spencer. I pull up Jimmy, no hindrance. I'm from the land, but ain't Kendrick. This ain't no game and no gimmick. In charge of pitch black, like I'm Riddick. Draco kick back with a semi. Ain't no get back. We be winning, fly like jetpack. Coming. Woo! I'm on a go. I gotta get to the dollars, that's all that I know. Lately I'm running on lonely roads. Shit, I gotta get up, bitch. Saw that little kid up, bitch. LA, the Dodger, the fitted. Little baby, she fucking, she with me. Yeah. Baby girl, show me them titties. Baby gon' pop up a jiggy. Yeah. Baby might pop up a bean. Baby might pop up a bean. She pop up a perk. I'll take a addy, but I can't say daddies. Baby won't flirt. Hand up a skirt, now she calling me daddy. Came out of dirt. I'm chasing meals and they calling me Patty. I feel like I'm dirt. Do it with smirk. Shit. Yeah. She love the way that I'm dressing, but I ain't orange. And God showed me that I'm a blessing, so baby, it's there. I've been smoking weed, I've been smoking on weed. Yeah, baby girl, I know you won't fuck good. Hey, say that you love me, then baby, why you tryna let me go? Say that you want me, then baby girl, why you tryna?
Yeah.
If I throw you a couple hundred, will you throw that ass on the floor? I wanna see you roll, posing, don't. I gotta get it, but get it in motion. No joking. I done rode a grab in this podium, Biscotti high. I'm on a Biscotti high, baby. I've been looking at your yeah. And I'm pouring lines. It is my time. I'm finna boom Osama. I don't want no damn drama. And I've been counting calm. Big Bang Uchis, let's go. Long live Draco. And she love the way that I'm dressing, but I ain't no ranch. God show me that I'm a blessing, so baby it's stamp. I've been smoking weed, yeah, I've been stressing like pass me a brand, whoa, whoa. Pressure, let's see, what wish you, huh? You broke a home washing dishes, nigga. Yeah. Hey, we outside, man. If you outside by Southwest, turn up a little bit. Let's have a good time, man.
Yeah.
This is my last song on Lambo GoPro on Instagram at Gare_XK. If you fuck with me, follow that. Let's do it.
Did.
Uno más. It's my shit too, by the way. I'm in LA, baby, so you know we vibe out. Let's go. Yeah. Cartier. Hey. It promises that we done made it. We both wanna be better, but still can't always. And I be trying, but I can't help it. This is how I was. I'm in the field and I've been racing, trying to make these. Ooh. Sometimes we get through, we just hold our faith. And sometimes put me through, but you know I say 2 stars in exist, and we just need our space. 2 scars in the distance, but we still ain't fake. Promises that we done made. We never had no love, baby, it's new to me. And I ain't even gotta ask you, staying true to me. I know that you ain't using me. But sometimes I'm in my feelings and I be feeling like you using me. I can really feel it and it's bringing nothing new with me. That shit made me sick of you, I know that you be sick of me. I ain't playing with no tricks, don't play no fucking tricks on me. And baby body round like Twix, I'm trying to see off the Hennessy. Listening to Roddy Rich like I don't want some, yeah. I just wanna pull up, get out, fuck you, and it's killing me. And the promises that we done made, I know that you're still into me. I can never turn you dub, even though you been the enemy. And I know you been the enemy, whoa. Promises that we done made. We both wanna be better, but still can't always. I try, but I can't help it, it's just how I was raised. In the field, I've been racing, trying to make this hey. Tough times we get through, we just hold our faith. And sometimes put me through, but you know I say 2 stars in existence, we just need our space. 3 stars in existence, but we still ain't fake. Promises you made, I made too. And you know that I'll never use you. Know that I do what I do. But I do it and I think about you. Baby, your body like an ocean, I'll cruise. You know you got that way like the signing. You making love, no safe sex, put it on me. I feel like Cass, we fucking 6 in the morning. I'm trying to find it out with authority exploring. I wouldn't sleep, baby, you know I wouldn't ignore you. Put you designer, baby, you know I Dior. I had you laughing, you can't stand me, Tracy Morgan. Me, you let's run it up and baby make a fortune. Designer fits and we mismatch it with the Jordans. I give my heart, you give your heart, we exchange organs. We make it through this stuff for everything we wanted, yeah. Promises that we done made. We both wanna be better. Let's go. Hey, Spot up. Yeah. I'm in the field and I've been racing. Whoa.
Sometimes we get through, we just hold our faith.
Yeah.
Sometimes put me through, but you know I say 2 stars in existence, and we just need our space.
Whoa. Lambo fucking GoPro. Don't forget the GoPro, baby.
Let's get it.
LA to Austin, South by South.
Make sure y'all make some more noise for Lambo GoPro coming all the way from LA. So look, y'all, like we said, we are here for Web3, the metaverse, blockchain. This is an emerging market, and we got to get everybody into this, man. We need everybody involved. It's so many great things going on. And I'm sitting next to some guys that's been in this industry for a minute now. Man, I mean, like, I know y'all personally, some of y'all, and I love you guys' company, G-Meta1, and this is the Fireside Chat, and I want y'all to explain what you guys do. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to pass the mic down so everybody introduce themselves, and we're going to keep this thing going. Let's go.
What up? I'm DJ Filthy Rich. I'm the creator of an animated series called The Roach Motel, starring the 85 South Show, Carlos Miller, Chico Bean, DC Young Fly. And what I've done with G-Meta1 is they brought my IP into the metaverse. We'll talk about that more later.
What's good, everybody? This is Next. I do. Oh, speak louder. I gotta speak louder. Yeah, what's good, everybody? I'm Next. I make all of your different ideas come into reality in the metaverse and Web3. So I pretty much build. I make things. I'm creative.
What going on? What going on? How y'all doing? Slice IX. I pretty much, you know what I'm saying, me and Nick's pretty much in the same field, you know, bringing IP into the metaverse, and I pretty much help facilitate a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? I facilitate merging the convergence between the virtual world and the physical world, so that ties into events, being able to, you know, just convey these brands in a way to where people understand that it's not just an ideal, it's not just something that we just coming up with out of our head. You know, it's real use cases. Like even with this is bro's intellectual property. We looking at it as a physical product, but also we got NFT representations of this. We got virtual representations of this. So it's really just showing how everything comes together. That's what I do.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Iggy. What I facilitate is marketing, communicating the ideas to the masses, helping people understand what your IP is when it comes to the digital world, when it comes to the virtual world, to be able to illustrate those in a way that people can understand, communicate, and digest.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Jay Crypto, and I've been in this space for a few years, and pretty much what I do, I handle any type of development, oversee any development that's going on inside of the metaverse. And so the things like, we'll have some things set up for you guys to check out in VR that are pretty cool. You know, if you guys stick around, you'll be able to kind of see some of the creatives. But yeah, we're definitely going to go into what we are, what we do in the metaverse. I think now's the time to really have a conversation like this. And I want to definitely pass it to Ig because he's going to kind of give a little bit of the history of things. And then I'm going to kind of speak on exactly what this project is and what we're doing and how, you know, we're going to be able to bring brands into the space effectively and create a standard for a space right now that's you know, it's the Wild West, you know, so we want to make sure, you know, we get this info out the correct way for people to be able to utilize it and really, you know, expand in the space. So, yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. The biggest thing that we want to make sure everybody understands is the effectiveness and to be able to enter into Web3, into the metaverse. And in order to do that, I think it's important that you understand our history and how we got to this moment. Right, so when it comes to our skills, you know, dating back to, you know, social media and developing and understanding that we've literally hit the mark 3 different times, being ahead of the curve. Back in 2018, early 2019, we were pushing and telling people that they needed to use QR codes in order to automate systems. People looked at us like we were crazy. People looked at us like we were retarded. We developed systems to be able to automate things for restaurants, to be able to scan a QR code and order. Right. Fast forward 2020, we all know what's happening. Now QR codes are a part of our everyday life in multiple different aspects. Right. We move forward into the crypto revolution. We started the biggest crypto play ever, where we focused on educating and onboarding people into the crypto space, helping people understand the fundamental basics of being able to move in the space, from wallets to being able to help move and develop cryptocurrencies, to be able to launch those and on forward into the metaverse. Right. And just like the other two, people looked at us like we were crazy. People didn't understand what was going on. People didn't understand how they can transition into that space. And so with G-Meta 1, what we've been able to do is kind of bring things down to a realistic level. Because when you hear metaverse, when we hear Big Zuck, that's what we like to call him, Big Zuck. When you hear Big Zuck talk about meta, right? So it's kind of get stuck in the virtual reality space. All right, you miss out on the blockchain, on the transactional aspect of things, to be able to integrate those two to facilitate business models, to facilitate business structures, to facilitate transactions, right? Being able to take your idea, your IP, your intellectual property, and be able to put that into a virtual space that you can actually run a full-scale business, because you can monetize in that space everything from advertisements to actual transactions where you're selling physical products, digital products, music, like the list goes on. So with G-Meta 1, all right, a number of things we've done, but kind of starting out, just like we saw a performance here, we're having an event here. One of the things that you guys can actually experience over there, we were able to kind of duplicate this space right here that we're sitting in right now inside of the metaverse for you all to be able to experience in virtual time, in real time, inside the metaverse, and understand how we've been hosting events where thousands of people from all across the globe have been able to congregate in a virtual space, in one space, and be able to advertise the business, be able to get your products, your services, your brand in front of people from all over the world who are already interested in the space. So versus looking at things from an idea in a perspective of all the things that's possible and getting stuck and stagnant in the possibilities, we want to show you what we've actually done. We want to show you what we're actually doing. We want to show you how we transition from just educating to actually developing in the space, to building for ourselves, for other people. Right, Roach Motel, we were able to build a 4-story building inside the metaverse that he's been able to now start monetizing with his physical products, with virtual products, and also the web series there. So it's a bunch of different possibilities. In order to understand this, we want to give you a foundation. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn it back over to my brother, Jay Crypto, so that he can go a little bit deeper into what we've done, what we're actually doing, so that you guys can have a solid foundation when it comes to metaverse and Web3.
For sure. Cool. So, how's everybody doing? Y'all good? Everybody good out here? For sure. Hey, I want y'all to do me a favor because right now there are people actually watching this in the metaverse. And, you know, if you want to actually experience, like, seeing them actually, you can go on your phone right now. If you type in gmeta1.land, it's going to take you directly to the actual parcel. Now, this parcel is a parcel that we actually own, right, in the metaverse. We paid about 5.7 Ethereum for this actual parcel. At the time, that was probably about, I would say, like 19, 20K in USD, right? So, like, and I don't like to, like, compare the numbers, you know, between crypto and fiat, but that's basically what's going on. So, the reason I'm speaking on that is because I think that right now in the time that we're in, there's a lot of hype around the subject, right, of the metaverse, and it's important. I think it's essential that we have these conversations about the standard in the space and creating that, because it is such a new space where there's tons of people who are getting in the space. And, you know, the metaverse is one thing, right? We hear metaverse, and then a lot of times we automatically think like VR, or we think like it's automatically just like something like Web3 is connected to it, right? But in all reality, it's just one component, right? We've actually been in it for some time. Anybody who's ever been in the gaming industry, Fortnite itself is an example of the metaverse, right? If anybody's done your research and looked at what Travis Scott did in 2020, yep. I think it was like he pre-sold like 27 million, had like 27 million people show up into a virtual concert where he pre-sold tickets. And, you know, like, I mean, come on, when we think about numbers like that, it kind of gives you an example of like where things are going. So what I want you guys to do is just say what's up to everybody in the metaverse right now that's watching y'all, like, because they're watching y'all directly from the metaverse. And so we want to let them know that this is real, like they communicating with everybody here. They're watching it live. So everybody just give a quick, you know, shout out to everybody in the metaverse. Say, hey, what's up? For sure. Appreciate that. So I want to go into what G-Meta 1 is, right? So who are we? What do we do? We're a hybrid metaverse ecosystem that focuses on a few things. We focus on business development, we focus on real estate tokenization, and we focus on education, right? When I mention metaverse, you know, for most people, it can be kind of complex because a lot of people, right, they'll hear the term, and, you know, they'll go to YouTube, and again, there's a lot of hype around it. You can go to YouTube and find a YouTuber who's like, they'll say, oh, well, you can type in, how do you monetize in the metaverse? And the video will tell you, you know, go invest in sand or go invest in mana, right? And it'll give you a whole bunch of statistics, you know, and it doesn't really tell you that, you know, you can actually create, you know, there's actually functioning economies that are operating in this space right now that people have no idea. I mean, obviously we have some sort of idea of what's happening, but they don't know how to actually develop in the space. Like, nobody knows that you can go into the space as a contractor. You know, nobody knows you can go into the space as a real estate broker, right? Nobody can actually tell you that you can go in there and actually just start creating and developing, you know, your own stuff. So what we wanted to create with this platform is we wanted to be able to create a platform that was user friendly for us to be able to onboard people into the space and get them, you know, accustomed to how to maneuver in the space as well, right? Because obviously, like, when you talk about it, you know, there's not a lot of like people who actually are in the space, or they actually get the opportunity to see exactly what's going on. Why? Because, like, if you don't know which metaverses to go in, then you're gonna deal with having to, like, you know, deal with the client, right? Like, you have to deal with, like, client downloading, right? So it being user friendly is kind of hard. You know what I mean? So now that we have, like, these WebGL platforms, if you know the right ones, you can actually go directly into the space and be immersed in it, and
straight through the browser.
Yeah, and still be able to, you know, experience what's happening right now. I don't want to go, like, too crazy down the rabbit hole with things. Like, obviously, you know, you guys can, you know, tap in with us over there as well. But just moving on, I also want to speak about the future and what we do and what we're going to bring to the table for brands, right? We have our own metaverse right now in development.
Yes, sir.
That I will also be able to share that application. There's no servers for it up yet, but we do have development for it, so you'll be able to actually see a little bit of that. And then we'll also we're gonna activate some VR stuff over there for you guys to experience, you know, watching this live that's happening right now in VR, you know, directly in the metaverse as well through the actual Oculus, which is, you know, it's not an easy thing, you know, that's just very common right now for people to be able to put a VR headset on, go into the metaverse on a platform that's a client-based platform that allows you to actually watch, like, videos in VR, right? Like, it's like, I mean, if any of you guys know a platform, you guys let me know, because I haven't seen one yet, right? So we're going to be able to kind of share that experience too as well. But as far as, like, brand activation, we're going to be able to allow brands to put their brands, products into the actual metaverse the proper way. We're going to show you how to onboard into the space. We're going to show you, like, you know, if there's anything that you are looking to do and looking to get into, as far as, like, how do you onboard into the space? How do I get my brand activated into the space? That's what our platform provides. We also provided a business and marketing and advertising platform as well that we're going to do. And then, of course, you know, there's amongst a lot of other cool things. Like, we have a complete token launching behind this entire platform that I'm not going to go into tokenomics because, like, it would just be, like, you know, too crazy. But that's something that, you know, if any of you are interested in, you'll also be able to get the information on that. I really wanted just to be able to focus on speaking about the utility that we're going to bring to the space, and just educating, and then obviously giving you all the experience in the space to be able to, you know, to access it and really see the potential of what it's going to be in the future, because it's definitely the future. You're seeing witness right now to one of the partners, DJ Filthy Rich. This is his, you know, IP right here. We've already put it in the metaverse. It's already utility actually going. We've had multiple events. When we talk about live events in the metaverse right now, NFTs being ticket sales, where virtual ticket sales are being sold. Yes, we program and we develop that as well. So there's going to be a lot of cool things, I think, that you know, that we're going to be able to add to the industry. And for anybody that, you know, wants to communicate more about it, you know, that's what we're here to do. So yeah. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I wanted to veggie back off of that to kind of also bring it to perspective, like you mentioned in the beginning, being able to understand that you don't necessarily have to be a builder, a developer to come into the space. The main focal point as far as education of what we want people to understand is simply finding ways to transform your current business model into the metaverse is a perfect starting place, right? He mentioned, you know, being able to be a real estate agent right, or in the metaverse, where you're brokering deals, or you're brokering between the contractor and the developer and the client. Being able to design the interior of what that space will actually look like as an interior designer, to be able to custom design, work with the designer to make custom furniture for the space, being able to curate events inside of the metaverse where you're party promoting or whatever it is you do, bringing people into a certain space, being able to sell ad space on the wall. Imagine that, thousands of people inside the space, the same way banners and sponsors are here at this event, being able to do that same exact thing inside the metaverse. The biggest thing and the biggest difference is that you instantly open yourself up to a global market where people can come and participate, and no matter where they are in the world, whether they want to be on their phone through WebGL or actually go into the metaverse and virtual reality, you can actually do that now. It's not something that we got to wait 3, 5, 10 years. This is happening right now. And our goal is to be able to help people understand how simple it is, maybe not as easy, but how simple it is, and let them know that it's not far down the road. It's something that you can take advantage of right now and be able to transition your business model into the metaverse and really take things to the next level. And on top of that, you can take your ideas and go to that next level. The main thing is being able to experience the space to get the juices flowing, to be able to transfer those ideas into the metaverse. And that's what we have set up. So you guys be able to experience this live stream in the metaverse, as well as be able to walk around and see other development and even see the G Meta 1 development. We have a huge arena inside the metaverse where we offer services for people to be able to host large events. We've hosted our own large events in there, from concerts to training inside of the space, as well as be able to grow from there. So I definitely want to mention that.
I wanna bring or I'll have you do a slice. You can bring on Filthy Rich after you speak, because I know you want to kind of get some words into as well. But I want to bring on Filthy Rich for sure, because I want him to speak about his personal experience. And again, I want to focus on utility, because that's important this year, right? Like with a lot of these projects that are out, like utility. And so we're seeing it right now in real time. And I want Filthy Rich to kind of speak a bit on his experience with, the partnership so far and what we've been able to create, and, some of the things we've done from events and things of that nature. So,
all right, so I'm DJ Filthy Rich. Like I said, I'm the creator of the Roach Motel. So I really want to start this by saying this. How many people here don't even own a crypto wallet? Put your hand up. So all of y'all have crypto wallets? All of y'all? Everybody has a wallet? That's good. When they first met me, I ain't have a wallet. I ain't know what a wallet was. So I feel like this was November. This was November of last year. So I feel like I'm the perfect case study for the success of what these guys bring to the table, because I didn't know anything. And I wanted to know so bad that Slice really just kept telling me. I've had this cartoon for years. He was on me, man. He was on me. He's like, yo, this is the illest cartoon. You got to do NFTs. You got to get in the metaverse. I'm like, man, I don't know what that shit is. I don't know what it is. So one day it just clicked. I'm just like, you know what? I got all this going on. I want to know. So Slice walked me into his metaverse building, and I just grabbed it, because I have kids at home, and my kids play Roblox all day, every day. And not only do they play Roblox all day, every day, they spend all my money on Robux, which is not real money. So once I grasped that concept, I'm like, okay, so if I could do the same thing for my company in the metaverse, then I could probably make some money too. So long story short, he walked me through, it clicked, and then they walked me through from a baby. Like they taught me how to set up my wallet. They taught me how to buy Matic. Next, showed me how to put my outfit on. You know what I'm saying? When I came in, I was what they call a marshmallow. So all y'all on the live, if y'all new to this, you see a bunch of people that's floating around and say anonymous above their head, and they look like crash dummies. We call those marshmallows. We were all born marshmallows in the metaverse until, you get some NFTs or you get some wearables, which next is the god of the wearables. So, it's been a big journey and a transition for me, and I love every minute of it. But the thing is, I put my money where my mouth was, first of all, because I didn't even know you could buy a building. Slice was showing me like, yo, you could buy a parcel. I'm like, what's a parcel? I'm telling you, I didn't know anything. So a parcel is a building. I'm like, oh, damn, okay. And I'm looking at the prices like, damn, bruh, it's kind of steep. But I really wanted to do it, so I put my bread up. I bought it. I think at the time it was like what, like 1.9 Ethereum. It was like $10,000 or something like that in real money. I'm going to talk real money for the regular people out there, because I'm the one who's going to onboard all the regular people who are not well versed in this. I'm the guinea pig, which is fine because it's been successful for me, and I want other people to experience this. So, bought the parcel. 4-story building, waterfront property. They gassing me up like, yo, bro, you got a waterfront property and everything. I'm like, okay, what that mean? You know, I just dropped the bag and I don't know how to get my money back. They like, nah, man, listen. So Slice and Next got on the phone with me. They walked me through it, and we had this vision to build this Roach Motel, what is now the Roach Motel NFT Museum. So it's a 4-story building. Now it's 5-story. We're going to talk about that now. We just put another floor on there. But each floor is a different experience. So it was all just to promote my animated series, but what it ended up being is a headquarters for everything Roach Motel and everything DJ Filthy Rich, because not only am I an animator and a series creator, but I'm also a big DJ in Atlanta. So I know a lot of artists and I do a lot of music things out there. So it's my headquarters now. I have a virtual office in there. So it's anything. I have a 24-hour radio station in there. Each floor is different. I want to walk you through. it. So when you walk into the building, the first floor is my store. You can buy NFTs. You can try on Roach Motel. Okay, so let's talk about utility. This shirt right here. There's a digital version of this shirt in my building. If you buy the digital version of this shirt, your character will have that shirt, and I send you the real one. This physical shirt. So,
you mean to tell me that when you buy something, you can actually get something in the physical world?
Yes, this is utility. This is what they taught me about utility. So it's like, okay, you could be cool in the metaverse with that shirt, but you can also get that at a house for people. So for people who are used to making transactions and receiving something physical, that's the utility behind that. So we're also going to launch. I have these plush toys. These are physical plush toys that you could buy, but we have Roach Motel pets coming out, digital pets. So you're going to walk around with these little pet characters, and if you purchase one of those NFTs, you'll also receive a plush toy of that pet in the mail to your house, another utility. So people who just only understand physical transactions, I wanted it to spill into that too, so the learning curve is smaller. So the first floor is a store. You go to the second floor, you can watch my whole series. All on the walls of my building on the second floor is the whole 22 episodes of the Roach Motel animated series. You can watch them in real time in the building. The third floor is the 85 South Show Lounge. The 85 South Show is the biggest comedy group out right now. You can watch the 85 South Show on the third floor. Fourth floor is the radio station. I have what I believe is the first 24-hour radio station in the metaverse that is registered with media base. So all my artists out here that's watching, all my artists out here, your spins count. This is a real radio station, the same as what you put on in the car. Your spins count in the metaverse on the 4th floor of my building. And if you go in there, I'm stunting. I got plaques on the wall and everything. Next, put my real plaques. I got plaques from Future, Lil Baby, DJ Khaled,
official.
Lucci, Rich Homie Quan. I've been working. So, and that's just to show you that when you come to that floor, if you're rocking with me, people are paying attention. So your spins count, and it's worldwide. So you could come up to me in Atlanta where I DJ at, and I could play your record, and that's cool, and I could break it in Atlanta. But if you rock with me in the metaverse, it's people from Japan that come in my building. It's people from Denmark that come in my building. It's people from Tokyo that come in my building. So it's worldwide. So you're touching more people with this radio station that we put in there. And then actually we might as well say it now. We just debuting a new floor. We just added a 5th floor. When I say we, I say next. Just added a 5th floor to my building. We have the Roach Motel Theater on the top floor. So that's where we're going to premiere things like this. You know, if Iggy drops a new thing, a video, if you want to learn, we'll put that in there. New episodes of the Roach Motel, premieres, interviews, informational pieces, event spaces, everything. So what I'm doing is just leveraging this building as an event space to promote the cartoon, promote music, and to help other people build their brands too.
Now, DJ Filthy Rich, one thing you said is that you got people coming from Japan and Denmark, right? How you know this?
Because I saw.
You see the analytics that's tracking, so you can see where your traffic is coming from, how many it is.
I like where you're going with that. Yes. So in Crypto Voxels, which is the land that I'm in, it does show you analytics. Every day it tells you how many people are coming in the building. It'll show you where they're from. So I can leverage these analytics against advertising dollars.
Yeah.
So if you want to promote, I can put billboards. There's so much space in there. We can do billboards, put advertisement, commercials, artists. You can put your music videos in my building, and I can show you how many people in here watching it.
This is truly an example of migrating your intellectual property from what we know as the physical world into the digital world. Now, Roach Motel already existed. It been existed. This ain't nothing that we just came up with in November, right? But being able to do integration with the blockchain has expanded the business model to the point where it's a cap on how many people can be up here. At one point in time, it's going to be, you know, it's only so many squares on here. It's only so many people that can stand right here. But if I drop a link in the metaverse, thousands on thousands on thousands of people. I seen Stephen Aoki do a concert in the metaverse and had thousands of people in there. And, you know, it's no safety issues. It's no overhead. It's nothing. You know, even when we talk about what we went through, you know, during the pandemic, you know, you don't need a jab to get into a virtual concert. You feel me? So it's so many use cases. And I feel like, you know, this right here is the perfect example of being able to brand yourself on both sides and not leave any money on the table. You're not leaving anything on the table, you know. So with that being said, I also want to let y'all know that it's not just us doing this. We also got my brother Street Bud, which is he's an artist that's been out here for a while, doing this thing for a long time. And he's been able to integrate himself into the metaverse as well on the music side, branding side. He got his own show. I'm gonna let him tell y'all what he do. But I want to introduce my brother Street Bud to the stage right now. You feel me? He got that shit on. Yeah. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Hold on. Let me see that mic. Yeah, man, it's the kid, Street Bud, checking in, you know what I'm saying? The hardest youngin' in the metaverse. I want to shout out my boy Slice, my boy Iggy, my boy J Crypto, my boy Next, my boy DJ Filthy Rich, you know what I'm saying? I'm the hardest youngin' in the metaverse. You know what I'm saying? I got the most NFTs for a youngin' in the metaverse, man. You know what I'm saying? The youngest crypto player ever, biggest crypto player ever.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let y'all hear my new song out right now. It's called Put That Shit On. Let's get it. Yeah.
Done deal on the track.
Ooh la la, shies.
Yeah, let's go. Designer my clothes, I'm dripping it, babe. Today I put that shit on. I blocked the number again. She still keep calling my phone. Walking designer and spin, I'm mixing the pot up with the V-Long. Now everybody need a loan. They already know what I'm on. Pull up frog guys. When I'm hopping out the porch, I got so much money on me, I can buy the whole store. I be ballin' like on Kobe, I be jumping out the court. Bought that brand new Lamborghini, it come with a lot of horse. And I bought that new McLaren just to post it up and flex. I don't go through TSA because I'm hopping out a jet. Designer my clothes, I'm dripping in, babe. Today I put that shit on. I got the number again. She still keep calling my phone. Walking designer and spin, I'm mixing the product with the V-Long. Now everybody need a loan. They already know what I'm on. Designer my clothes, I'm dripping in, babe. Today I put that shit on. I got the number again. She still keep calling my phone. Walking designer and spin, I'm mixing the product with the V-Long. Now everybody need a loan. They already know what I'm on. They already know how I'm coming. I need 100 racks, no discussion. I bought a plain Jane just to bust it. I bought a Louis bag just to stuff it. I hang with the big dog full blooded. All of my chains is flooded. She wanna stay, I ain't cuffing. Get too close to me, they gon' get the bustin'. Yeah, stand too close, you a fan. Off-white shirt with the off-white pants. Got it out the dirt, yeah, got it out the sand. I remember days I ain't even have a chance. I remember days I ain't even have a dime. Now I got baguettes in the chain, they shine. New AP, I ain't wasting no time. Come get your wife before I make a mine. Designer my clothes, I'm dripping in, babe. Today I put that shit on. I bought the number again. She still keep calling my phone. Walking designer and spin, I'm mixing the product with the V-Long. Now everybody need a loan. They already know what I'm on. Yeah, man, let's put that shit on. Out right now on all platforms. Make sure y'all go get that. You know what I'm saying? Follow me on all social medias at StreetBud_. You know what I'm saying? The hardest youngin' in the metaverse. Remember that.
You dig? Hey, if y'all want to get the virtual experience, man, if y'all want to put that shit on, put the Oculus on, we definitely have the G-Meta live virtual experience over there.
And one more thing, man, before we let Bud go. Bud also has his own loft in the metaverse, the YCPE loft. You can go in there and watch the video to the song that he just performed right now. You feel me? And y'all can go to the what floor is it on, bro? 3? It's on the third floor. Third floor. You can't miss it. It's all orange. We got orange furniture and everything. You're gonna see Bud right there on the big screen. So yeah, man, put that shit on and leave it on.
Hey, give it up for him for the one time, y'all. Give it up for him. Make some noise. Okay, so look, shout out to G Meta One, man. They are so dope. That was so informative, man. Like, for a guy like me, man, I'm a artist myself, and I'm a person that's been in the space since 2019. But as an investor only, you know what I'm saying? So I only know, like, you know, like, I knew Polygon Matic when it was only just Matic Network, you know? I've been in the space that long. I know VeChain, you know what I'm saying? But I'm from an investor point, you know, so I don't really know from the part that y'all speak from. Exactly. So that was very informative, you know what I'm saying? So look, we're going to get back to, you get something to drink, get something to eat. They asked that they let the ladies eat first. You know, so we're going to get this DJ, get back to rocking. I go by Black Pat, and make sure you keep rocking with us in the mainstream house. We'll be back in a minute. Let's go.
Shouts out to everybody watching in the metaverse right now. You heard me.
Meta V Academy, biggest crypto play ever.
Ever.
We forever tipping. We done told them that and we done showed them that, but they never listen. This the next edition on the pedal with it. I'ma shut it down like the epidemic. They infested with the devil, let's admit it. But I'm legend with it, coming hella different. Ran in the heavy, then I had a blessing, met power.
Well, I call it International Women's Month because women all over the world need to be celebrated. But can we just talk about what you all just did at Texas Southern University? What you all don't know is a big HBCU in Houston, Texas that Megan Thee Stallion just graduated from. So can you all share the amazing work that you all just did down there in Houston, Texas?
Sure, absolutely, and happy International Women's Month to you, Jahan, and every other woman out there on the call, and really anyone who's listening. But to explain what we've done at Texas Southern, it was quite nice. So 2 weeks ago, we actually donated $200,000 to the university, and half of that money was really allocated to 5 different women who are studying STEM or STEAM at the university. And so each one of those students will be getting $20,000. And really, it's huge because that's something that we'll be able to do, not only at Texas Southern, but a few other universities as well. But all of those scholarships are going to women in STEM. And so that's huge for us.
That's amazing. I love to hear it, especially as a woman in STEAM, knowing that money is going back to our communities. So when we talk about culture, can you define what culture means to you?
Absolutely. I think culture is, I really can tell you exactly. Culture for me is what you use to define what makes your, if you will, experiences unique. And so, even right now, or even on a daily basis, it's quite interesting. But I've gone from, and I actually didn't share this before, but I'm a United States Marine. And so being from that background and being in the military and having, if you will, a very disciplined and uniform structure, I like to use that word very particularly because the reason I mention culture here is because, on a daily basis, we really, pride ourselves in being able to just wear, what we wear and really, I would say, represent ourselves. And so culture is, in a number of ways, where and how we, as a community, represent ourselves and, as individuals, if you will.
I love that answer. Culture is so important. So when it comes to you know, STEM education and esports, what matters to you the most when it comes to giving back and serving underserved community?
Great question. Oh man, I want to go back and forth on this one. I think this is really worth the, if you will, the dialogue. But what means the most is really what got me interested in. So to give you a little bit more background on how we got started, you know, Ryan and Chris, our other two co-founders, were really going at, you know, some of the ideas of this early on in 2019 before any of this was formed. And my background at the time was, you know, building and helping develop nonprofits. And so as we kind of collected and formed this organization community, one of the earliest things that we realized is esports, gaming and esports in particular is an interest point for a number of students. But if you look at the different skills that are required into the field of esports, and a quick differentiator between esports and gaming for those who may not know is esports is really the competitive lens of gaming, as well as it has that viewership kind of component as well. It's very important to kind of think about not just the competing component, although it has been historically, that is esports. But to date, if you think about the common definition, it does also include that. And so for us, it was an opportunity to both attract our students based on their interest, but in the process, teach them a number of transferable skills and even just skills that will help them further develop, you know, their ability to navigate their interest. And so to give you a couple of examples, within the field of esports, you know, there are a couple of disciplines that, if you will, you can extract and compare them to the traditional business world, starting with the actual event itself. You know, if it takes place, if it's a one-day event or a series of events like a normal tournament is, that's event planning. And so we help just, you know, students understand the essential structure of every component of the gaming or esports ecosystem. Whether it's gaming or esports, we really break down both of them. And so giving you kind of a few more examples, the other few areas that we really help students understand is, you know, if you like the actual gameplay component or maybe the coaching or shoutcasting component, you know, that really goes into the the School of Journalism or School of Liberal Arts in regards to communication. And so we help students understand really these different pathways can be explored through your interest, but understanding these pathways can also be something that...
For real. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
She better act right. Low key in the act, but my sack right. Up and out, fucking out, come my jeans tight. 34, better act right. Had the Glock and got a nice sight. Report switching on my cargo, sunset. In my cargo, then I'm out of sight. Out of sight the purse, it was fucking on my appetite. But you know I always eat fuck, young dry cheap. I'ma spill my drink like a nigga wearing cleats though. I'm a bad bitch, but I'm looking for a free girl. I'm like, Nito. See it up, free throw. Bitch, I need my Cheeto. Scratch my car, I'ma break your jaw, Eddie. Look at my thing out and his hands be confetti. White, no petty, drip hand steady. Cut you off in traffic, you can call me machete. White, no petty, drip hand steady. Cut you off in traffic, you can call me machete. Sir, better act right. Bring a bitch around me, she better act right. Low key in the act, but my sack right. Up and out, fucking out, come my jeans tight. Whoa, better act right. Had a
I'm so motherfucking ignorant. I'm so motherfucking ignorant. So ignorant. I'm so mother. Hold on, yeah, I'm so ignorant. I got a bad bitch rub my feet, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I keep them bitches out. I keep them bitches out. I eat them bitches out. I eat them bitches out. I'm turning bitches out. I'm turning bitches out. I'm burning bridges now. I'm burning bridges now. I put that foreign out. I put that bitch in the church. I take these bitches to church. Got demons, I think that I'm cursed. So every morning I pop me a perk. I don't even care about life. I don't even care if I die. Yeah, niggas can't drip like me. Yeah, Velo on my teeth. Yeah, I need a SRT. Pistol a bitch, free arcade. Damn, I'm so ignorant. I put that bitch, she so ignorant. Yeah, yeah, damn, I'm so ignorant. I'm fucking fresh, she so ignorant. Yeah, yeah, damn, I'm so ignorant. She fell in love, she so ignorant. Yeah, yeah, damn, I'm so ignorant. I don't give a fuck, I'm so ignorant. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's go. Let's go. Bitch. Let's go. Let's go. Bitch, I'm so ignorant. Yeah.
Bitch, I'm so ignorant. Got a little bitch and that bitch is so ignorant. She said my dick, give me the brain, now she illiterate. Yeah. Her pussy so sweet, it's so damn sweet, it's like the licorice. I'm stressing myself out, I need to go like me a cigarette. Yeah, I've been so different, I've been really on some other shit. I can't care about a bitch, cause these bitches out here just sucking dick. I don't care about nobody else, I'm on my selfish shit. But when it come down to it, I got money for my brother's bitch on God. Cause I'm so motherfucking ignorant. I'm so motherfucking ignorant. I'm so motherfucking ignorant. Bitch, I'm filled with the ignorance. Need a bad bitch that look like Rihanna. Want a bad bitch from Dolce Gabbana. Need a bad bitch who suck in the Honda. Need a bad bitch who keep it 100. Bitch, I still could've cut a bitch cause I'm so ignorant. I still could've cut a bitch cause I'm so ignorant. So hold up on my dick cause I'm so ignorant. God damn, I'm so ignorant.
Yeah, Nico, you made that motherfucking beat. Oh, nah, you made that motherfucker.
Gang, 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 gang. Why the fuck would I switch up? I would not change. Front street with that R4Z, bitch, I rip that game. All the shit the streets done taught me, you don't feel my pain. All that fuck shit I went through, we are not the same. Nigga talking about a kick though, you ain't hit a lick. 18 nights in that trap house, we got hella sticks. 16 years old in that cell block, madder than no bitch. These niggas sadder than no bitch, going not sad about no bitch. Wheelchair, neighborhood crib, when I roll up. 18 on the fucking phone, I'ma throw up. Stay down in the top until I blow up. Niggas looking down, but they don't know us. Nigga know we really hit them licks, really told them sticks. Nigga know I ain't capping about that shit, rapping about this shit, cause I live that shit. Nigga know I live that shit. You hear that pain in my voice, you better feel that shit. Gang, 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 gang. I was 14, lost my big brother, I was fucked up. Mama, she was crying in the living room, fucked up. Had to pay some bills, had to go and get my bucks up. Nigga try this shit and if I miss it, he done looked up. But ain't no look about me, I ain't had no silver spoon. I was broker than no bitch when I came out the womb. Triple trade, hitting licks in the afternoon. Hit the trap, go dumb, supersonic boom. Hit the trap, go dumb, serving chicken tenders. I'ma shine in the summer, stay down in the winter. Nigga, I'ma stay down. The police did a raid, it's a shakedown. Nigga snitching, interrogation, better not make a sound. Use no mask for my ops, I'ma walk down. Gang, 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 gang. Bitch, gang, 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 going on, gang. Nigga, nigga, Winsboro, nigga. Know what the fuck going on, nigga? We was really at DC house, nigga, every night, nigga, hitting licks, nigga. These niggas counted out, nigga. Get your motherfucking money up, broke ass, bitch ass, nigga. I'm 19 doing this shit, nigga. Long live DC and long live DC. Free the real. Gang.
top of the game, you can't stop this. We never ignorant, nah, we never ignorant niggas. We never ignorant, nah, we never ignorant niggas. We never ignorant, getting goals accomplished. We on top of the game, you can't stop this.
I run from the cops cause niggas can't fly. They wanna lock me up cause my whip too fly. These bitches pull me over then make up a lie. Pull me out my whip, man, I hope I don't die. I try and calm them down but the bitch won't listen. Breaking down my whip trying to catch me slipping. Nah, I'm not against every cop that's living. Only them fuck boys trying to put me in the prison. The racist rednecks trying to fuck up my chicks. A Confederate bitch, you get dick in your neck. These African kids ain't about to calm down cause colonial powers still trying to hold us down. We trying to unite, so we fuck with the Yankees. Watch me hold it down with my S.A. Frankie. Slapping Sinatra, just eating on pasta. I fuck with Italians, but I was raised with the Rastas.
We never ignorant, nah, we never ignorant niggas. We never ignorant, nah, we never ignorant niggas. We never ignorant, getting goals accomplished. We on top of the game, you can't stop this. We never ignorant, nah, we never ignorant niggas. We never ignorant, nah, we never ignorant niggas. We never ignorant, getting goals accomplished. We on top of the game, you can't stop this.
Fuck that shit, it's about time I tell the truth. Schools don't teach the shit I spit in the booth. The real facts and truth, like the movie Root. They took us from Africa, took us out the womb, deported to the west, played us out like chess. 400 years we sat in that rotten mess, but it ain't all true. They left clues like blue. I seen a black man on an Aztec statue who did Columbus leave when his troops showed up. Just some dark-skinned niggas and a Caribbean hut. We been out here, now it's all washed up. Sent by Egyptian kings, used to be bossed up. 100 generations later, watch me float. 100 J's in rotation on the west coast. The young black male, dog and shit, tuck your tail. Cause a real nigga bound to win, it never fails.
We never ignorant, nah, we never ignorant niggas. We never ignorant, nah, we never ignorant niggas. We never ignorant, getting goals accomplished. We on top of the game, you can't stop this. We never ignorant, nah, we never ignorant niggas. We never ignorant, nah, we never ignorant niggas. We never ignorant, getting goals accomplished. We on top of the game, you can't stop this.
Sunset, on top of that Ferrari. Crenshaw, the colors and Harleys. Sunset, on top of that Ferrari. Crenshaw, colors and Harleys. Then that shit is still alive. Shit is still alive. Then that shit is still alive. Shit is still alive.
Versace, my tan showing. Go on the back of that body blowing. Body rock, my favorite fragrance from the Cuban links. My back sore. Sunset with a gang of crips. Had it lit like the Vegas Strip. Made a bet with my dog Khalil. She live with us. Better action strip. Double M's and them double R's and that mad lamb and that drop Ferrari. He asking why nigga cheat. Said because of you and she told me sorry. Sunset, I'm feeling rich. Hanging out the roof. Coat, he lit. 6 plaques, ain't your mama rags. Spend the gang of money. Talk a lot of shit. I'm on.
Sunset.
Yeah.
On top of that Ferrari.
Yeah.
Crenshaw.
What?
Colors and Harleys.
Right.
Sunset. On top of that Ferrari. Crenshaw. Colors and Harleys. Then that shit is still alive. Shit is still alive. Then that shit is still alive. Shit is still alive.
Slow sand. Cuban links and presents.
Okay, we are back live at the Mainstream House, man. We're live from South by Southwest. I am your host, Black Pat. We are live in Austin, Texas, and we about to get to a whole nother fireside chat. You know, we are sitting here live with Blockhead Sports, man. Y'all is one of the world's first simulated NFTs. So, you know, grab the mic, and I want to, you know, go ahead and get it started. I want y'all to introduce yourselves, tell them what you guys do, and, you know, just a little bit about y'all in general.
What's going on, everybody? I go by Ferg. I'm a commentator for Blockhead Sports on Twitch. That's my role. I basically just commentate, and I'm an early holder. I have 4 Blockhead NFTs.
Jack Mascone. I've founded Blockhead. You know, I'm super passionate about the space. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about why I'm so passionate about Blockhead at a macro level, and then you know, my inspiration for starting this all.
What's going on, everyone? My name is Big Perm. Former esports professional, former attorney, but now I'm a commentator with Blockhead Sports. Also help with brand promotion. Super excited to share my story with Blockhead Sports.
Okay, so Jack, let us know about what Blockhead Sports is, and you know, I heard you say you want to speak about your passion. Where does it come from? Let us know everything, just from beginning to end.
So for the past 2 years of my life, I've played professional esports. I played professional NBA 2K, and for those of you who don't know what that is, it's virtual basketball. So it's pretty cool. I played for Wizards District Gaming, which is a derivative of Monumental Sports. Monumental owns the Capitals, the Wizards, the Go-Go, and they're located down in DC. So I was living down in DC for a couple of years, and you know, I got to really experience the ins and outs of the virtual sports world, the esports org, and really experience firsthand the power of these organizations. I think, you know, to me, the biggest thing about esports is the ability to outreach at such a macro level. And I think that's a little bit of what inspired Blockhead Sports. To reiterate, Blockhead Sports is the world's first simulated NFT sports league. I played, so just to give you guys a little bit of a background, I was the captain of the Team USA E-National team. We won a gold medal, so I won a gold medal, which was really cool. And then 2 years after I started, so now 2 months ago, I actually announced my official retirement from esports.
Two-time champ.
I saw a lot of opportunity in the market and in the space, and you know, I thought there's so much that I can touch on and I can expand to with the Web3 space and the merging of virtual sports. So it wasn't too long ago where I was just down the road in Arlington, Texas. I attended the Esports Awards. And there were two big takeaways I had from the Esports Awards. One of which being the past of esports and the progression of it, and how Twitch, which is a streaming platform, I'm sure a lot of you guys know, really accelerated brand activation and actually allowed for these gamers to receive sponsorships and pursue this full time, which I think was groundbreaking. The second thing, and which is super cool, was how all these big esports organizations, from the likes of FaZe, 100 Thieves, Optic, they're all really engaged and focused on the play-to-earn space. And for those of you guys who don't know about play-to-earn is taking in-game assets and allowing them to have real-world use. So that's a really cool thing, and I think in the next 5 to 10 years, that's going to not only emerge, but boom. So I want to talk a little bit about the NFT market as well. I think that's important to touch on. For those of you guys who have been in NFTs for the past year or so, I think we've seen points where it seemed like every project that came out would double in value, and then there's been points where projects have dipped exponentially, and you would never hear from these creators again. And I think at face value, obviously it's a super volatile market, but this is because a lot of these projects are predicated on collectability. So without, with just the asset itself, there's not much outside of its, its digital, its image. So, what I'm trying to do here with Blockhead Sports is bypass the volatility of the market through predicating a project on utility with a hint of collectability instead of collectability with a hint of utility. So I want you guys to imagine real quick, you're watching the Super Bowl, watching the NBA Finals, whatever it is. Every player on that court is owned as an NFT. So somebody who's watching that, somebody in the stands owns every player. And you actually reap tangible benefits from that player's in-game performance. So that's what we're trying to accomplish here at Blockhead Sports. Blockhead Sports is a virtual sports simulation simulated on Twitch, where every player within the simulation is owned as an NFT. I think what's super interesting about this is it appeals to a ton of demographics. A lot of people can appreciate virtual sports for what it is. In our utility coin called Blockhead Coin gets accumulated through your player's performance. So, for example, our inaugural season was hockey. For every goal scored, the holder would receive 40 Blockhead Coin. For every assist of your individual NFT, the holder would receive 20 Blockhead Coin. For every hit, 10 Blockhead Coin. And if you owned a goalie, every goal saved, every save was 4 Blockhead Coin, and every goal allowed was actually -8 Blockhead Coin. So this is really cool. So there's, just to give you guys like a quick briefing, a quick idea of the league, there's 6 players on each team. There's 6 teams, so there's 36 different NFTs within the league. And then there's 7 forms of each NFT, all of which come within a different color. So our initial collection was 252 NFTs, all of which are represented digitally, within the Blockhead Sports ecosystem. So now, what is like the value? Why would you want to hold a Blockhead? So the Blockhead coin has exchangeable value within our marketplace for specific prizes, for any prize. So an example of prizes, or an example of a prize includes, thousands of dollars of cryptocurrency. We have a Tesla, we have future mints, and this is all achieved on an 1/8 of an Ethereum investment with only 252 holders to start, right? So you're thinking $350 US with the potential to buy a $300,000 US car with no potential of losing anything after that initial investment, which is, I think, a really cool thing at face value to think about. And I think what's also really cool about that is there's no weird activity. Like, you can see exactly who's accumulating this coin and whatnot, and then exactly how certain holder, certain owner accumulated whatever amount that allotted him to get a prize. And one thing I want to touch on is, after a prize is exchanged for, it's no longer available again on the marketplace. So there's a competition component to accumulate Blockhead coin the fastest. And you may be thinking, okay, how can I accumulate Blockhead coin faster than somebody else if I'm not playing? And that's a great question, and that's something that I think drives the engagement behind Blockhead. So we have something called Blockhead coin multipliers. Blockhead coin multipliers allow you to place a multiplier on a certain statistic, such as a goal, a hit, a save, a win, or a win plus a save, and through predicting that statistics, you're able to accelerate your blockhead coin accumulation, which I think is a really cool thing that engages people to watch these games on a nightly basis and keeps people super active. Just to touch on the blockhead coin is interoperable between all blockhead sports. So we're started with hockey. We're not ending with hockey. We plan to do virtual basketball, virtual hockey, virtual boxing,
So
virtual
all
football,
sports.
all sports. And I think a really cool thing about interoperability, obviously with blockhead coin, but as a whole, and especially in the metaverse, that's something that I think applies to all projects, is when you make something interoperable, you're essentially allowing and fully opening up the creator economies from every component of what you have to offer. So like, you know, I can scale something, I can do a promotion with hockey, but if the coin that applies to hockey doesn't apply to basketball, then it's really only worth it for hockey. But since this coin is interoperable, we have a lot of different facets for brand activation within our minority sports, which is something that, you know, I'm very bullish on, and I'm super excited to, like, you know, continue to see play out. Another thing I want to talk about is actually creating a brand. So I think a big thing with a lot of these NFT projects is how they are able to create a brand, right? Obviously you have these, you know, these images, but how can you create something that leverages people to pay attention even if they're not necessarily an investor? So I think when people think of a brand, you think of a logo or you think of a slogan. But when I'm thinking of a brand, and this is with any business or team or whatever I've been a part of, I'm thinking of the reputation I'm leaving on the consumer. So there's not one brand for any project in my eyes. There's not one brand for any entity. The brand, there could be 1,000 different brands. If you can create a consistent brand, that's when you know you've created a good brand, as long as it's a good, consistent brand. So like, you know, I think you do that by being transparent with your investors, by creating a user interface that's user-friendly, and by creating an ecosystem where people feel like it's cool to be involved, even if you're not necessarily invested in it. So I think is super unique about Blockhead is obviously a lot of people are trying to get into the Web3 space. I think what Blockhead does is it allows for people who might not necessarily be interested in NFTs to understand why they would invest in NFTs and understand and see through, you know, collecting this Blockhead coin, using these multipliers, watching their player grow in value and their Blockhead coin grow in value on a nightly basis. You know, this is something that I believe in a ton because I know these multi-million-dollar, even some billion-dollar organizations are all headed here one way or another, whether it's passive or active in terms of, like, you know, being involved with play to earn. And I'm trying to jump the gun, and you know, we do this all the time, and we see this all the time in fantasy sports, in Web 2. When we play fantasy, we're at the discretion of Yahoo to say, okay, a touchdown is worth X, Y, and Z, but you're not really accumulating anything outside of the pool you may have entered in. Now I'm allowing not only for the benefit to be amplified through these accelerators, through these multipliers, but we're also creating an exchangeable, tangible marketplace that this coin you can collect can be exchanged in. So I think we're off to a really good start, and I think part of that, and you know, part of making a change is doing something that remains the same. And I think merging the Web 2 and Web 3 components of fantasy sports, you know, the fantasy sports market, the virtual sports market, both of which have accelerated exponentially in the past couple of years, is really interesting. And I'm gonna toss it to Vince to kind of add on to that.
What's going on, guys? Yeah, and Jack touched on more of the technical stuff. I'm kind of like more of an everyman, like DJ Filthy Rich, where I didn't know much about NFTs up until a couple of months ago. You know, being an attorney, then stopping being an attorney to start a YouTube channel with my brother, and then going professional in esports. And this guy is modest and humble because he's actually a two-time champ in the 2K League, and he didn't even mention it. And I had to watch him beat my ass in scrims all the time, so it was kind of fun for him to not leave that drop that there. But when he first came to me with the project, you know, again, I'm like a little skeptical. I didn't know much about NFTs. I was a little skeptical, but when I saw his passion for it and just understanding the utility of it, being a gamer, like I played video games since 1994, and the last 10 to 15 years, all it feels like is that you put money in, playing My Team, Fortnite. I believe someone talked about Roblox as well. Just all the money you put in, you don't get anything back besides the experience of playing the game. So the thing that sold me on Blockhead was, okay, not only am I watching the game, a game that I have played before in my life, but every single night, I'm watching coin get accumulated. I could go in the marketplace and see the gifts right there. There's no just put your money in and get nothing back from it. So again, like the multipliers you talked about, when the season started, they weren't there. So it's like, okay, you're getting some coin. All right, we have 4 players. They're maybe not the best players. All of a sudden, I could put 8 times on goals. I could put 8 times on assists. Me and my brother started doing research, like, you know, like it was gambling and stuff like that. We're like, we got to look at the odds. Like, what are they going to put in there? Like, you know, but it's not anything like that. It's accelerating your Blockhead coin to get these prizes that are in the marketplace. And I'm extremely excited because, again, I've been spending so much money for so long on video games and not getting anything back. And it just feels good to have that opportunity and a pathway where someone like myself who don't really understand NFTs just sees the utility and the functionality and the practical nature of this NFT. So I'm glad to be on board. Jack touched on all the technical aspects there, so I'm kind of just here to let you know that even if you don't know much about NFT and you just like sports, it's definitely something you should check out, and it's only up from here.
Yeah, so I think one more thing I want to add on is 80% of our holders had never owned an NFT before. So like the business model in itself is something that has a huge ability to scale. Obviously the collectible market and the people who appreciate collectible NFTs are there. They're already there. They've been there for years. But what I'm trying to do is reach a whole new demographic with a business model and with an idea that merges the NFT market that a lot of people may not have thought about. And I think what this is going to do is inspire people to do projects similar. It might not be necessarily in sports games, but in anything you watch and in any video game you play. How can I create something play-to-earn-esque that doesn't necessarily just reward the top 1% of gamers, that rewards, you know, potentially. So there's, you know, 100 holders, there's 25 prizes. So the top 25% are guaranteed a return on their investment. That's double on what they put in, which is really cool. And then, you know, if you don't get it this season, seasons are a month long. You hold 2 months, you'll get it next season. So super happy to share this. Shout out to Dom and Jay Crypto for allowing us to be here. I really appreciate it. Just having an opportunity to speak at something South by Southwest related at 21 years old is really cool, man. And
are you 21?
Yeah, I'm 21.
Oh, wow,
I never
man.
would have thought I would. Definitely didn't think I would be here. I mean, I started Blockhead like 7 months ago, and we've been able to grow a ton. I think because people have really just latched onto it from like a friend and relatable level more than anything else. And I think that's why, you know, we have such a cool foundation. Is I'm confident that everyone who invests in my NFT would go tell their friends to invest in it next season. So we have a really good starting point, and now it's up to us to continue building the brand and showing people either what they're missing out on or what they can be a part of.
Look, I love it, man. Y'all, that sound like y'all very innovative right now. Y'all got a lot going on, and it sounds like y'all got a lot of use cases too for the Blockhead coin. So look, give it up for them, Blockhead. You know, make some noise for the one time, man. We really appreciate y'all for coming out. So look, we about to get into the next part of the segment. We're gonna do something for the women. Josh Hunt will be taking over. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna introduce him. He is a part of Bolt. You know, Josh Hunt, if you can come on out here, man, and make some noise for Josh Hunt for the one time, please. You know, I know you rocking with the mainstream house. Go ahead, Josh. I'm gonna let you take over, brother.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate y'all. Woo! All right. Everybody in the Bezac, I'm gonna need y'all to slide up here and fill up these couches. If you're in the back, come slide up here and fill these couches. Women panelists, please come sit right here. We about to get prepared for some uncomfortable conversations. Purveyor, come on with that big smile, girl. DJ, if you can turn me up a little bit. You said what? It's all this way. Okay, bet. There you go. Perfect. Thank you, sir. All right, everybody in the back, please come up here. Especially the women. Look, this is for you all. We want y'all to come here, please. Come sit down. We about to have some great conversations. Again, my name is Josh Hunt. Shout out to Mainstream. Shout out to Dom. Shout out to Adam. I'm gonna give you guys a couple more minutes to come slide up here. Sweet. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Here. Yeah, that's good. Hey, everybody, especially the women that's talking in the corner. Ladies, this for you, baby. Hey, y'all come slide up here. We want to hear y'all. This is for you guys. And then some of the men that's talking, calm down just a little bit. This is important conversation. This is the women empowerment panel. We need support for women. We need support for men. We need some support from everybody here. So we want everybody to be attentive, listening to what's about to go on. All right. I like how we calmed it down. Again, my name is Josh Hunt. I'm going to sit down now. I'm going to relax because this is not about me. This is about these beautiful young ladies right here sitting on this couch. Okay, sweet. So I am the... I'm sorry. Oh, we'll do two mics. Great. So again, my name is Josh Hunt. I am the founder and CVO of Bolt. And at Bolt, what we do is we provide culture as a service. What that means is we take feedback from employees, quantify that feedback, and present that on a dashboard for HR to take action on. So whether that's expression, authenticity, belonging, we measure that and display that. So that's why I'm here today, because I'm not only supporting women, but I'm supporting the inclusive movement, sense of belonging movement, because we all know when you have a sense of belonging, you perform well, right? So that's what we're gonna be talking about. We're gonna be talking about being uncomfortable in these certain situations, male-dominated industries, whether that is tech, whether that is sports, whether that is art. We're gonna talk about that here. So get ready to be uncomfortable. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable, because that's what this shit is about, straight up. So without further ado, I'm gonna let these young ladies introduce themselves, tell you a little bit about themselves, and then I'm gonna probe them with questions. Let's take it off. Let's go.
Hi, everyone. My name is Daphne, founder of 98%. I work in corporate. I am a project program manager in the consulting industry, but I also own this platform called 98%. The name originates from one statistic that only 2% of collegiate athletes go pro. So what happens to the other 98%? I was a former collegiate athlete. I ran track at UCLA, ended up medically retiring, and was kind of frustrated with not really knowing what I wanted to do next after graduating. And I didn't know how to put my resume together and interview and just look polished and tell my story. And so 98% is a place for athletes to share their story, because it can inspire others who are coming behind them who might be dealing with similar situations. And then it's also like this one-stop shop platform for athletes to find resources to prepare themselves for life after sports.
Love that.
Love that. Thank you so much.
Hi guys, my name is Gina Shear. I feel like I want to look here at the cameras, but I also want to talk to y'all, so please be engaged in this. My name is Gina Shear. I also am a founding member with Josh Hunt with Bolt Culture. I am the culture and people leader. We're a local Dallas startup, so we do a little bit of everything. Josh already stole my thunder on that, exactly what we do. However, me specifically, I throw large events like this, as well as, of course, with our wonderful partners. So that is my sweet spot we have found. I am known in Dallas as the sponsorship queen, and I ride that title for sure.
Facts,
I love building relationships with people. I love being able to host events, parties, things like this, to be able to bring just people together, culture together, make conversations happen that you wouldn't if you didn't attend this. And you might meet your best friend, you might meet a mentor, and I love being I am a catalyst for connecting people.
Nice. Amazing.
Oh, sorry, you have a mic.
Hey everybody, I'm Corvea Jeffries. I am a media professional. I currently am a leader at Revolt Media. We're a Black owned and operated media company. outside of Revol, I run Corvea, which is my name, my me, but also my business. And I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Sweet, sweet. Well, Corvea, since your introduction was the shortest, the first question is going to you. So what challenges, so I know a little bit about, you know, your background. I met Corvea, by the way, in college at Wake Forest. So I'm not sure exactly what you were majoring in, but what challenges did you have in college and then leaving college into the corporate space?
You know what?
As a woman, of course, we can't forget that part.
Right.
As a woman, what challenges did you face?
So when I was the first person in my family to go to school, and so I didn't have really a blueprint. There were no rules really, and it worked for me, but it also worked against me. You know, the sky was the limit, but I didn't have a trajectory. Like I didn't have a blueprint, which is very different from my little sister, for example, who's 13. Like she's gonna have the game, the playbook. So the challenge for me was, who am I? What am I going to do? And how am I going to make it happen? I feel, you know, coming from a small city, I come from inner city projects in Hoboken, New Jersey. And it's so crazy. We come from the smallest cities, but we dream the biggest. And so it was like, okay, this is my dream. How am I going to make it happen? That was the biggest challenge for me. Boom, I get into corporate America, and I realized that like my dreams are way bigger than anything that they could offer me. So then I had to figure out, okay, how do I make a good salary to provide for myself? Like I can't go to mom's house, I can't go to dad's house. I gotta make a salary outside of corporate. That was the biggest challenge. Like how do you make money as a creative? How do you make money as an entrepreneur? And how do you like set an example for your family outside of a position and a title and like, you know, a pay stub? So
I love that. Does anyone else want to answer that? What challenges did you face just like initially coming out of college? Because we have some young people here that may still be in college or some young people that are watching. And if you have any questions, by the way, if you're watching live, put your questions in the chat. We will review those and we will ask those questions. Okay, everyone gets heard. So, Gina.
I'd be happy to answer this question. So, I actually struggled in school. I'm going to be real. I'm dyslexic. It sucks. I can't read to save my life. I can't write to save my life. I'm probably texting y'all. Some of y'all are like, what are you saying? Like, I don't even know. So obviously that was a challenge in itself. But I knew from a young age, I started a business in the travel industry when I was 18. I just connected with the right people. That's literally, like, I'll say it until I'm, you know, blue in the face. Like, it is all about networking. It's all about people you know. It's all about the relationships that you can build. So I was grateful for that experience to be able to connect with the right people at a young age, and I knew college was not for me. So I skipped that route, became an entrepreneur at a young age, and had actually I had some success at a young age, but I really had an amazing support system, number one, but trainings, number two. And I will always be a student, maybe not in a classroom, but I will always be a student. I am constantly on the look of, hey, what's an event I can attend to learn from these people? What is a workshop or a mastermind that I can attend to learn from those people? So I've never learned in a classroom setting per se, but outside of that, on a business level, connecting with people, building those relationships, that's where I've learned to be able to actually adapt and be able to really hone in on that and really like find my confidence, my value within that versus within the school route. But I had to learn that the hard way, and I had to just put myself out there. So like you said, there was no blueprint. I didn't go to school, so I had to find out the hard way. And when Josh and I started Bolt, you know, we look at each other and we're like, what are we doing? We didn't know what we were doing for the first little bit, but we just figured it out. I mean, it was, you know, hey, this didn't work. Let's learn from our mistakes and let's move forward with that. Yeah. So that was a lot of what we were doing. We finally found out what it was that we were really good at. We tapped into that and we went hard. That's what we're still doing to this day.
All right, so you said, really quick. All right, so you said networking, right, was a challenge. To some of the women out here today or live stream watching, what would you say would be some advice, or what advice would you give someone, I should say, that struggles to talking to people or struggling getting out there and actually communicating and collaborating and working with them? What advice would you give them?
What do you have to lose? That's literally that. So like if you meet someone, they could become your best friend, or you may not like them. You don't ever have to have a conversation with them again. But you can learn that you became great friends with them, and you can, you know, benefit each other, whether that's just in friendship and life and whatever it is. Businessship, you know. So what do you have to lose? Like, I tell people that all the time. Like, people are like, oh, how are you so daring to take these risks? I'm like, what do you have to lose? Like, I'm not afraid to fail. So just go out there. If you know, if sign up for events, like, just get there. Like, don't be shy. Like, just get there and make a new friend. That's it.
There you go.
It'll start happening.
I love that. I love that. Does anyone else want to weigh in on that? Just yes, please, definitely.
Yeah, you know what? I love the fact that we come from very different backgrounds. Is anybody here Nigerian, African?
African. Okay.
All right, so
shout out Yosef.
We don't have any other choice but to go to college. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay, so education is number one in our culture, right? So I was one of the top sprinters in the state at the time, and dang, I had this dream to go to the Olympics. That's what I wanted to do, but I also knew that education came first. My parents speak 5 languages between them too. They're both very educated, 4 degrees between them. And so when I got into UCLA and I was thinking, oh my goodness, I'm gonna be this Olympian of some sort, and really just disregarding the statistic that only 2% of athletes go pro. Come on, like, I thought I was going to do it all. Athletes have the mentality that we can achieve the impossible, right? So I didn't, okay? So, and I came in with a civil engineering degree, or major, y'all. Anyways, graduated with a 2-point-something GPA, majored in sociology with a focus in pre-medicine. So I was a little bit everywhere here and there. And my parents wanted me to become some type of doctor, lawyer, engineer. I was nowhere near the path by the time I graduated. And so the challenge for me was figuring out what exactly I wanted to do. What could I do? Because I didn't have the grades. I couldn't go and get a master's degree. There was literally, it just felt like there were no next steps for me. And after some time, I just always felt like I needed to move. So I ended up moving to Seattle, and I ended up meeting people who looked like me that weren't athletes. And this was huge for me. I was like, how are there black people here that are working for Google, Microsoft, Zillow, and they didn't even go to UCLA. Like, UCLA is the #1 public school in the nation. So how did they get these jobs? And here I am kind of stuck trying to figure out what's next. And so I started asking questions. Literally, you have nothing to lose. How do I get to where they are? And so I started asking questions. How'd you get here? Where you from? What you do? What could I do to be better? This is my resume. It looks like trash. Can you help me? And it was through people pouring into me that I'm able to be where I am today. And right now in the corporate space, I work a 9 to 5. I can't, at least right now, I can't do entrepreneurship. I need to know when my check is coming on the 1st and the 15th. I'm happy. And then I'm doing 98% on the side until that, gets to somewhere. But right now I'm learning everything that I can learn in the corporate space. And I'm going to yell it from the rooftops. Literally, everybody's going to know what I know, because I wish I had known this information when I was in college, just before I graduated. So.
Sweet.
So
appreciate that.
I'm only going to chime in because I have a different opinion.
Okay, let's hear it.
I respect what you ladies are saying 100%. You have nothing to lose, right? I think that's a great mindset to have. I think it depends on, what the circumstances are. What's different for me is that I do have so much to lose, and that's what for me keeps me going. So if I'm in a position to offer advice, my advice is always to think about, always to share that you have to think about what is your why? Like, what is your reason for doing what you do? Because that's what you have to lose. For me, it's my family. So it's cool to network, but like, because of the type of people we are, the type of human beings that I know we are in our DNA, we can network with somebody, and because we're loyal to a fault or we rock with somebody really heavy, like our relationship with somebody could change the course of our lives for the better or for the worse. You know what I'm saying? So you could get with some people, and if the right people are not in your circle, everything could go to shambles. And so I love networking, and I'm never afraid to like get in a room and speak to people, but you always have to think about outside of this room, outside of this event, outside of this hotel, outside of these companies, why am I here, right? And you think about that, and I think that that keeps you kind of like grounded and connected to, you know, what's in front of you and the path ahead. So I just wanted to share that.
I love the why. I love that you brought that up. So was that something that you used to leverage when you were in these corporate spaces where you saw that glass ceiling and you're like, hold up, like you guys don't really have everything that I want. You're not offering all of that. So like, what did you, was that what you used to move forward? Were you leveraging your why, or just?
Oh no, absolutely. Like I can give you an example. I'm so far out of this experience that I'm okay with sharing it now, but I was working at CNN, and I would think that that was like my prime. And, you know, coming from somebody who studied journalism, who comes from the, you know, this inner city neighborhood, like I'm at CNN now, and I'm in a position where, you know, I get to make moves and make plays. This is like a dream come true for myself and for my family. Yeah. But when I thought about my why, CNN wasn't really giving me what I needed to pour into my family. CNN was giving me what I needed to have a great resume and like to be able to come places like this and be like, I work here and I do this. But when I think about, I'm one of 11 children, like what is that doing for them? Right. And so I was at CNN, I think, for 9 months. I had negotiated the position, created the job description. I had really went back and forth with these people to get in the door. And they invested so much in me, and 9 months later, it broke my heart. But I had to tell them, like, I can't stay here. So I had brought brothers and sisters and nieces and nephews and my mom to explore the building. And then after they saw it, I felt like, okay, it's not going to take 15 years at CNN for them to be inspired by the fact that I'm at CNN. We here. Let's bring y'all in the building. Now that y'all see it, y'all know it's possible. It's time for me to move on.
I love that. I love that. So you're looking at inspiring your family. Your why is your family. Gina, what is your why?
So I want to touch on this with a quick story, and I'm going to brag on Josh for a little bit. So
I mean, hey, that's what we're here for.
When I met Josh, so I'll be quick with this story, but Josh and I met, handshake, 2018, December, literally face with a name, that was it, you know, moved on. Followed each other on social media. We're just like, you know, seeing like how we each other, like both of us were moving, and we were both very different, but we had a common goal, and we could tell that with each other. So we decided to sit down August 2019. This is how Josh and I actually connected. This is a true story. So Josh is like, hey, we need to meet up. Let's have coffee. So we sit down at a coffee shop in Dallas. This guy pulls out a notepad and a pen, sits down. We don't know each other, really. We've just like followed each other on social media, whatever, you know, highlight reel that is. And a handshake at a gala past 6 months ago. Pulls out a notebook and a pen, sits down, and he goes, so tell me about yourself. I was like, okay, like what? What do you want to know? Like my name, my favorite color, like. Sure. He's like, no, what are you passionate about? How often do you get asked that question on a first conversation basis? Doesn't happen, honestly. So I had to really do some soul searching in myself, and he's like, okay, so what are you passionate about? Traveling, right? Okay, well, why are you passionate about traveling? Okay, you love connecting with other people. So why do you love connecting with other people? And I'm sitting there thinking like, whoa, 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 like you're pulling a lot out of me. I didn't even know this was in me. So he's sitting there digging things out of me and finding my purpose without even me realizing it. And that was the first conversation I've ever had with an individual ever like that. And I left that day thinking, wow, I know my why. I'm here to help people. At the end of the day, that's what it boiled down to. That's what we realized my why was, is to help people. And we're not an events company. I'll just preface as that. We just happen to be really good at giving back to the community and connecting people. But what we do as a business is something completely different. But what we do as a business is exactly what he did to me that day, which was discover my why and pull something out of myself that I never seen before. And that's what we do for employees in the workplace. How, like, can you imagine if you're in your workplace and you realize your why and you're living in that? That's what we're building a business off of. So I found my why as I first connected with Josh and was able to sit down, and that's how we built Bolt off of both of our whys.
And there's obviously a need for that, because had Bolt existed, you know, in this so-called prime that I had, I would have maybe stayed at some of these companies. There's such a need for that. There's no, work culture is so important. I don't think that when we go into corporate America, we realize that there are tiers to what work culture is like, and there are strategists and people behind what is the work culture. How do people feel when they're at work? And so you really, like, when you're working for a company, you really have to find the company that makes you feel like, okay, I'm home, and this place is a part of my journey, and it's gonna, you know, rocket me to the next place in my life. I think what you guys are doing are great, because it's like if there's no identification of, like, what is your why and why do you want to be here and why are you passionate and what fuels you, then why am I working? For money? At some point, you all realize that money is not the master.
Right.
So if there's no why, there's nothing.
I love that. I appreciate both of you guys for expressing yourselves. Amazing. So I want to kind of piggyback off of you saying money is not everything, right? And I want to ask the three of you all, would you rather make more money or work in a toxic environment to make 6-7 figures, or take a pay cut, a half of a pay cut, make only, you know, 60,000 and work in an environment where you feel empowered?
I'll go first because I just lived this season of my life. So I'm in consulting, and I was on this horrible project. The stakeholders were mean. I had a client tell me on day 3 that I was not cut out for the position. I said, girl, you didn't even hire me. You weren't even part of the interview process. I need you to step aside. So it was a very tough 6 months of just like chaos and intensity and so much change, to the point where I was just exhausted, and I was just kind of sitting here like, is the money worth it? I don't know. Like I said, I like to see my check on the 1st and the 15th. So, and I like where I'm at right now. So, you know, what can I do to make the situation better? And to answer your question, I think you could have both. You could have the money, and you can have the success, like the peace of mind, right? The stability, the comfort, and the boundaries it takes to have a successful work-life balance. And it came to a point where, this was January, I had a 2-week Christmas break. You know, nothing really happens during the Christmas holidays, but I came back the 2nd week of January, and I ended up having this panic attack. Like, I was pretty much done. Had this panic attack the next day, and it was my first panic attack. So, you know, your body's telling you something, and I'm somebody that pushes through. Like,
yeah, your body's saying you're about to die.
Yeah, like, I'm an athlete, so like, I'm always gonna push through. I'm always gonna you know, dust it off my shoulders. You know, this ain't even that bad. What are we talking about? But my body was like, no, you gotta chill. And so the next day, I just got on the phone with my boss, and I was like, hey, I don't want to be on this project anymore. I want to get out. Like, I just want to be off the project. And with that, I can get on the bench and figure out things. Anyways, it got to a point where I was just like, I'm going to go on short-term disability for mental health. Thank you. And I was out that Friday. And I took the whole month of February off. Shout out to Black History Month. I was doing me the entire month. And when I came back, I just came back March 1st or whatever that day fell on. I came back March 1st, and I set the boundaries. I said, I'm no longer working from, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. I'm working from my 8 to 5. I only want to work on Central Standard Time. I was laying out
criteria.
my
She said, this is my criteria.
Look, if I don't like the client, I'm out. And that means that I had to understand how to interview the client and interview the project so I know whether I want to be in or whether I want to be out. Because another thing, too, is like as a woman in this space, you don't want to seem weak or you can't handle the project. And that's why I stayed in it for so long. But also, like, there comes a point in time where, like, you can also say I've had enough, right? And make sure that the people around you understand what the situation is so they can make it better for the person that's coming behind you, because they're gonna have to fill that role anyways. Business is business. So you do what you need to do to get yourself right, because the business is gonna keep moving without you regardless. So you treat yourself like a business. You take that PTO, you take that short-term disability, and that's what I did. And take care of yourself. So to answer your question, like I said, you could have both, but it also requires that the organization that you're in, the culture of the organization cares about you, cares about their people, and wants to see you succeed, thrive, and have balance.
Ooh, okay, hold on. Before you pass the mic, I want to spice it up just a smidget.
Okay.
All right. How would you, the question I asked in relation to corporate, you being in a toxic environment there, would you rather be there for, you know, the money or leave and go elsewhere? Same goes for a relationship, right? I know this is a corporate conversation, but we switching it over. We switching it back to this is just a conversation, right? So from a relationship standpoint, would you rather be with someone who has a lot of money that's toxic, or would you rather leave that relationship and
Gina,
do it yourself?
Hey,
I told y'all before he answered, this is uncomfortable conversations. That's what we're here for. If you feeling some type of way, that's good. It's growth.
I will say my guy makes a lot of money and he's only growing from there. But if there was any toxicity, boy, bye, I'm not dealing with you. So, I mean, I won't stand for that personally. Like, I have my own character. Like, I don't need him to financially support me. Even if I wasn't, like, even if it was in a bad place, like, I have a support system outside of him. So I wouldn't necessarily need that. Like, I don't care how much money he makes. If he makes a great amount of money, awesome, congratulations, let's build together, let's both do that. Like, let's build an empire, but I don't need that in the sense of, you know, I'm not there just for the money. Like, if he doesn't have character, if he's not a character quality person, I'm not gonna be with him.
Perfect, professionally, corporately.
Professionally.
Yep.
Okay, so I was gonna jump on this a second ago. Before Josh and I started Bolt, I was actually in a position, the last conversation I had with my employers, was this. We sat down at a table and I told them that I was not being valued as a person. And that was strictly like, that's where I was. Like, everybody needs to feel valued in their workplace, in their relationship, wherever it is. So we sat down and I told them I wasn't being valued. I said, I am a great employee and I'm not being valued as a person for this. And you know what they said to me? This was my last conversation with them. They said, well, your paycheck is your welcome. Oh. And I said, ooh, okay, bye. So that just answers that as far as, you know, you asked if, I forget exactly how you framed your question, but you were asking if the money's worth it essentially, or if it's the value in, is that how you were asking?
Yeah,
it?
exactly.
Or the value that you find.
Would you rather
in
take
that?
the money, or would you rather feel valued?
Yes. So obviously the paycheck wasn't worth it over the value. And Josh and I decided before we ever built Bolt, we actually started again on the events side with giving back to the community. We actually right out of the gates started hosting events at Microsoft store in North Park Mall in Dallas. That store is no longer there. We started hosting events there with Microsoft called cultural entrepreneurship events. Actually very similar to events like this, like fireside chats, panelists, conversations. And Josh and I weren't making money off that. We didn't have to do that, but we both found purpose in that, and we both found value, so we were doing that. So I think that answers for itself.
Amen.
For sure.
We in church right now. Corvea, take us to church.
my My answer is like, it's a million ways to get it.
It
like,
is.
Come on, like, you're not
Okay,
a slave to 30K, 50K, 100K, 150K. It's a million ways to make $1 million. And so for me, no. Like I would not work in a toxic work environment for $3 million a year, $6 million a year, $450 million a year, because my grandmother already did that. She wasn't making millions of dollars, but she was working under circumstances that weren't safe, weren't healthy, weren't happy, and she was getting pennies. And so for me, if I'm not safe, healthy, happy, and I'm not able to be and to live and to be free, then no, millions are pennies. So when it comes to relationships, same thing. It's a million ways to get it. Gina, I respect what you're saying. But in a relationship, the man will have to be financially secure as well as secure in all other areas. And if not, cool. There are a million ways to get it. Not to say it's a million fish in the sea. I can just go from one to one to one. But if you and I are not in a place where we are compatible and we are providing value the way we both need it, then, God will send us, on another route, on another path, and we'll figure it out for sure. Like, struggle is not necessary at all.
Quick little pivot. I love that answer. All right, so jumping into a safe place. There's a lot of men here today. What advice would you give men to help encourage and empower women that they're around? Whether it's their colleagues, whether it's their girlfriends, their wives. What are ways in which some of us men here, including myself, can learn on how to, Gina's reaching for the mic, learn how to empower women?
Ask them what they're passionate about. How often do you ask your woman or your female friends what they're passionate about and feed into that? If that's them and that's what sets their soul on fire, you need to feed that flame.
Boom.
Agreed. I think another thing too is being empathetic to the situation and hearing her out. A big thing that's missing is that emotional intelligence. Like, what is it that you need from me? How can I be an ally to you? How can I make your experience better? That is so important, especially in the corporate space and even in entrepreneurship. Women are seeking ways to build a business fast. Like I think it's black women that are the fastest growing entrepreneurs right now. And it is so important that we have our men who are literally leading the industry. It's so hard for women to break into any industry, any sector, because it's male dominated. So having a male ally in that space is so critical for us to succeed, and being able and mentoring us and showing us how to think like y'all so we can get into those spaces and transform those spaces.
I would say just put, the best way to empower women from my perspective is just to put women in position to like build wealth with you and to like add value. And so, if you have owned and operated business, pay attention to what females fill what roles. And so a lot of the times females are filling administrative roles and production roles. And if more women had the opportunity to be in leadership roles, I think that they show out. They thrive there because women work so well under pressure. And just it's so empowering to put a woman in a position to like make good, valuable money with you and like make good, valuable connections with you.
Amen. I heard somebody saying amen back there. Yes, Lord.
Josh, can we do a Q&A?
Oh, yes, we're going to open it up for Q&A right now. Also, if you're online, please submit your questions in the chat. If you have any questions, I guess what we're going to do is raise your hand. You can come up and ask it, or shoot me a text if you have my number. I can ask it if you're scared to announce yourself. Shout out KG Cosign. I see y'all back there. Jason Lear. I see y'all. Appreciate y'all supporting the movement. Any questions for these ladies up here?
Don't be shy. Speak your mind.
Also, yes, sir. All right, the question was, if you could send a message to your younger self, what would that message be?
I would say you don't have to have it all figured out right now. Just start somewhere. Just start, get your feet on the ground, get your feet wet, start running, learn from your mistakes, and keep pivoting away from your mistakes until something works.
Boom. This is your younger self. What are you telling your younger self?
Ask as many questions as possible. I feel like I grew up in a household where I wasn't allowed to really ask questions. Everything they said goes. And so I really feel like I didn't have a voice for a long time. So it wasn't until I got to college, I think a little bit after college, that I was just like, I can speak my mind, and I can ask questions, and I can ask why, and I can say no, you know? So I wish my younger self knew that I had a voice and I could ask more questions to figure things out a lot faster.
That's a great question. I would tell my younger self to document everything, because everything's so like, man, I've lost some people, and if I could just sit down with them, you know, one more time and ask them, you know, their perspective on things or how things were for them, or what would they do if this or that, I think that, you know, we would have that blueprint that we don't have now. And so a lot of times, you know, you are this first generation student, or you are this first generation child coming from an immigrant family, you don't have the blueprint because no one documented the stories of your ancestors. And so I would document. I'm documenting now, but man, I would have been doing this. And I think with that, you not only can turn documentation into a business, you know, with storytelling, but you can also like feed, you know, generations to come off of that.
Genius. Yes, ma'am.
I work for an international accelerator, and one of my goals is
Hey, you want to pass her the, sorry, can you pass her the mic?
Sorry, I speak softly. So I work for an international accelerator, and my goal is to support underrepresented founders, especially females. What can we do to help support you?
Support us in general?
In general, females, underrepresented founders. Right now, we're trying to do affinity groups, fast tracks, competitions, trying to help support and expose and support the opportunities for underrepresented founders. What other ways do you think that we can do to help support that?
Get us in the room and have a conversation. Without the conversation, there's really nothing else. Like, I can come I can meet you, right, and pitch myself, and I have a media deck and, you know, a QR code and a resume. But until you have a conversation with me and put me in front of the people that are gonna make the moves happen, I can pitch myself all day. So like those initial conversations are so important. And I think that as women, right, we need to be able to know what to do after that conversation. Like, you have to follow through after every single conversation. As long as the vibe is right and you feel it's good, you have to follow through that conversation. And guess what? If we don't follow through, reach out to us and say, hey, you didn't follow through, what's up? Because that woman may not have the education or the knowledge or the experience to know better. She might be sitting down waiting, right, for somebody to reach out to her. Even though she's very skilled and very talented, she might not have that, like, business savviness or that, you know, corporate or professional savviness, but she has everything you need in terms of value. So it's about holding each other accountable. So if you put me in a room with a bunch of men, right, who are going to rocket me to the next level, and I don't follow through the way you think I should be, knowing that you know their communication styles, you know these men, you know what they're looking for, reach out to me privately and say, hey girl, I think you really should send the email to this person and say this, and then I'll help you take it from there. Like, we have to be more real. We have to be more open with people and take risks that way, because if you're not building relationships with real people, you know what I'm saying, you're not really going anywhere. It's all on the surface.
Facts. Thank you for that. Does anyone else want to answer that question? How could they help? What was the group again? I'm sorry. Mesh Challenge. Mash Challenge. Yeah, that's a big deal, by the way, guys. This is coming from Dom, so it's automatically certified.
Appreciate that.
You got that blue stamp.
Yeah, it's got the Dom stamp.
we've taken a lot of initiatives to try and help support underrepresented founders. I've hosted focus groups. I've tried to find more experts that can support underrepresented founders. But I want to know what more can I do. We have other things, but
Thank
I
you
want
for
to know more
being here.
initiatives.
Yeah,
We can
thank you for
always be
being here
better.
and speaking up.
Yeah, we can always be better. So I want to know more ideas.
So I have one that will pertain to me specifically, and probably not them, but for me specifically, like on the event side, and being a woman in business. For me, there's avenues and connections that I might not have that I need. And so if you have those, this is like silly and it's simple, but it's so true. Like for me, it would be as simple as like me asking you, hey, do you have a connection in this field? I need someone for this. Hey, we're hosting a panel on, you know, investment or health as wealth or whatever. Do you have these people that are very credible people that can speak to this topic? And just putting those people in my direction, like for me, as far as support, that's huge for myself, but that's probably not the same of what it looks like for them.
Sweet, Deb.
I'm gonna be honest. I've never heard of you guys, and I have been doing some research on finding nonprofits, for-profits who are willing to invest in entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs, black entrepreneurs, right? And so what's difficult is, I guess, not finding you guys, even through Google or whatever, you know? So making sure that you guys are more visible to this audience through probably these panels or events and stuff, and coming up and speaking. So I so appreciate you being here and talking about what you do and what you're looking to do, because that benefits every single person in this room, because now everybody is now educated that your company exists and that's what you're doing.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Do we have any more questions? Yes, sir. And then we'll get you next right here. Yes, sir.
It won't stretch too far.
Yeah, first of all, I just want to congratulate you women for being up here and being powerful, beautiful representatives of entrepreneurs in the space. I think that right now is a beautiful time for women entrepreneurs and women business people to really kind of thrive. There's a lot of signals in the culture, including some of the recent nominees in government positions and things of that nature that are really ushering in a lot more important positions for women. And I guess my question is, as a black man, do you guys, especially the women of color up here, do you guys see opportunities that you guys can also step in and kind of, you know, break barriers and help other minorities, you know, kind of see additional equity in some of these business scenarios?
Yeah, I'll go. So being a former athlete, being in corporate, being a woman, being a black woman, and the struggle it took me to get to where I am today, I'm sitting in a pretty good position in my consulting firm, and I had no clue that that was a position I would ever be in at all. I never knew consulting existed when I was in college. So the fact that I'm where I'm at now, it's kind of like that question, like, you don't know what you don't know till you know, right? And so right now in this position that I'm in, I have been referring literally like athletes who are just trying to get their foot in the door and talking to management and HR and saying, like, take a chance on this person. Because, again, like I said, you don't know what you don't know. You don't know the skill set that you have. You're probably already doing something so spectacular and so valuable that you don't even realize. So my job, even with 98%, is to show athletes that, first of all, what you did is incredible. Only 15% of high school athletes go on to play college sports. And then, like I said, the statistic is only 2% go pro, right? So what's going on with the other 98%? And that 98% is struggling to figure out what's next. What am I good at? What can I bring value to? And so me being in the position that I'm in, I'm literally ushering these former athletes into positions where they can grow and also share the knowledge that they're learning.
I love that question. So two things. There's two buckets. for me. One is the city that I grew up in, Hoboken, New Jersey. It's 1 square mile. Hoboken, for reference, like Frank Sinatra was born there. Right? Okay. The first baseball game ever was played there. There's a bunch of history. But Hoboken is 1 square mile, and it's like 1st Street to 14th Street. I grew up between 1st Street and 6th Street, which is the project. So after 6th Street, you got, you know, hippies, and you got people that are coming from Manhattan to live in Hoboken, but they commute to Manhattan and work, and they're on Wall Street and all of those things. So there's been a plan to redesign my city. Essentially, that means they're tearing down the projects and they're rebuilding it to accommodate, you know, everybody coming in. And so for me, I would love, and this is very premature, we just found this out at the beginning of this year. It's heartbreaking. It makes me so emotional because those are my roots, right? Like, this is, every time I go back to Hoboken, I go there, and this is everything. This is our history.
Trees. Got a lot of girls on my team. I pull up, make them scream. I'm the hottest thing on the scene. In my jar, gasoline. I'm the nigga they leave with. Fuck me, y'all quarantine. Cushy all on my jeans. Roll a weed, she suck me to sleep. Spend a couple of weekends. Will you do the shrooms? She said it all depends. If she get too lit in the night, she might spend.
There are so many people that come out of my city that really paved the way for some really successful people. And so breaking barriers for me looks like going back to my city, documenting it before it's torn down and they pay everybody to leave. And what they're doing is they're paying everybody to leave and convincing them that, hey, you'll get the first opportunity to come back when we rebuild. But those people will never be able to afford, right, what they're rebuilding. And so after that teardown is gone. Like, my roots, that history is gone. And it's not just me. I'm just a small part of such a big, you know, group of people. And so for me, breaking barriers, that means documenting those stories and making sure they're archived for generations to come. So that's one bucket. But the second bucket is, lately I've been making major life changes to pour into my brothers and sisters. And not black brothers and sisters. My blood brothers and sisters. I'm black and Latina, by the way. But so my brother is 13 years old. He's 200 pounds, size 13 feet, and everybody wanted him to play football. And it's like, no, that's not his thing, right? He's a fucking gamer. And when I say he's a gamer, it's not that he sits in front of the TV all day and plays games. This dude is so involved in the animation, the production aspect, like all the people involved in the tech startups. He knows all of the startups around EA Sports and around gaming more than I do. And so I feel it's my obligation to pour into him and make sure that in the next 5 years, he's able to monetize that passion that he has, and he doesn't have to take this like traditional route of like, I gotta play football, or I gotta be a doctor, or I gotta be a lawyer. And he can move into the gaming space and know like, hey, this is a profession, this is something I can monetize. So what I've been doing lately is building with people that are part of these communities to make sure that there's a representation for like black men and black women in the gaming society. And even with Revolt, one of the reasons why I love working at Revolt is because Revolt in 2022 is so about that. They're so about making sure that there's representation for black people in gaming, and making sure that they create content for those people, and making sure that they're in the spaces where those people are. Even black people in the LGBT community, you don't see a lot of black media companies representing black gay people. You only see the white media companies representing and putting black people on the screens to show that they're flamboyantly gay, or they identify as female when they were born male. And so Revolt is really in a space where they're inviting all of these things and making it possible for, you know, black men and women of color to like feel like, damn, you know, I'm a gamer, but I'm not weird. I'm a gamer, but I'm not a nerd. Like, I'm a gamer and I'm a genius. And I love that.
Inclusive. Yes, love that. Any more questions? Jennifer, you had a question, right? You want to use the mic?
So, you straight, one take, you did. So look, how do you, all right, let me see. my question.
Camera down, it's getting serious.
On God. Now my question is pretty much like, man, how, it's not even balanced, but how you balance out the spirit and business? Like, if you believe in something and you can't be bought, how do you choose a business that you want to work for? Pretty much, like, if you believe in something and the people you work for don't believe in that, why would you work for them? So, how would you answer that question? Like, what, I don't know how I'm answering it, but.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying, and I feel like you're making a lot of eye contact with me, so I feel like I have to speak. Honestly, though, like this whole regardless of religion is so interesting, right? Like we all have a creator, we all come from somewhere, and we all are always envisioning things that are outside of our control and trying to control things that are outside of our control. In any religion, amongst all spiritualities, I do think that we all pray in some format, and I think that having you praying is so important, but having people pray for you and with you is really important. And so there are a select few of people that they're very sacred to me, and sometimes you just pick up the phone and it's like if you're ever as a creative in a position where you got to put your head down and shut everything out, all the noise, because you got to get back to what grounds you, which is maybe something in the air or God or Jesus or whatever it is, you feel like you're missing out on something. But as soon as you pick up the phone and call somebody who's gonna pray with you, you start to feel like, okay, this is just temporary. Okay, we're praying, we're gonna get through this, So now going off of social media for 3 months is not a big deal. Or leaving a job and not being employed for a year is not a big deal. It's about that spiritual seclusion. You seclude yourself and isolate yourself in a healthy way. You don't want to isolate yourself and be addicted to drugs, but you seclude yourself in a way that's healthy, and you get back to what you know is right. And what is right is not even something you can explain. You just feel it okay, I'm ready. Let's go.
Go ahead. I think. Good catch. Good catch. Go ahead. Do you want to say? Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. Please. Oh, okay, perfect. All right, do we have any more questions? We have time for one more question. Oh, yes, sir.
What's one piece of advice that you would give yourself fresh out of high school if you could go back and tell it to?
Yeah, we kind of already had a question like that. You might have, you might have been out there. Yes, sir.
My question is, as a supporting, loving husband, boyfriend.
Yeah.
How can we help us women be better parents?
Wait.
That's a good question. That's a good question.
Women, that's intense. You're also parents at some point. As men in that relationship, how can we help y'all be boss fucking women and also be badass parents?
Oh.
Raise my kids.
Ooh. That's a great one. I mean, hey, we here for uncomfortable conversations. Let me go ahead and sit back, because I don't know if y'all want to hear my 2 cents.
No problem. You can curse. You can ask whatever question you want. I think that's the space for this, right?
Hell yes.
Right.
We said we're going to have uncomfortable conversations.
Are any of us mothers, by the way?
So I am not a mother, but my boyfriend has 3 beautiful girls, and I'm not stepmom yet, but hopefully will be one day. So and the age gap is wide on that. So I'm dealing with a 15-year-old, almost 16-year-old, a 9, almost 10, and then a 7, almost 8. So wide ranges of ages. Luckily for me, I was a nanny for a long time, so kids is easy for me, but I haven't been a mother yet fully, but I'm stepping into that role. So for myself, I think the best, to answer your question specifically, how to help us is to support us in the time frames of our business, which is a little different. Like, I'm an entrepreneur, they work in the corporate field still. So I think our answers are going to be different. But for me is, allow me to have my business time and focus on that. You take the kids, but then also help me cut off business so we can spend it as a family. Because a lot of times that's very hard. Like, my phone is blowing up constantly. I made a joke to Josh the other day. I said, I feel like it's gonna literally catch on fire any point right now. Like, it's just blowing up. And it's hard to disengage, it's hard to disconnect. But for a man, if you build that sense of disconnection from everything and separate that family time, and if you really hone in on that, I think that's really important to really capture that family piece.
I love that.
Okay, so my goal, I will say, is to quit corporate by like 32, 33. I'm 27 right now. I don't want to be in corporate forever. I don't want to work for anybody. So I'm trying to make as much money as I can and take money as much money as I can from these people. That's what I'm doing. And so, and hoping that my business and whatever platform and everything that I'm doing right now to set the stage takes off, right? And I think what I'm learning right now, even in corporate and even being in a relationship right now, it's difficult. Like you said, it's difficult to disengage. Like I said, I had a horrible season where I was answering emails till 10 p.m. at night, like thinking that things had to get done. And so having someone there to just take my phone away and remember that, like, the grass is green, the sky is blue, you know, like people aren't dying. At least I don't work in a field where I'm saving lives. I'm not saving any lives. It's either you have the deliverable or you don't. So we're going to keep it pushing, but I had to be reminded of that constantly. And then another thing too is I don't have any kids right now, but my hope is that when I am married that we have as much time with the kids, but also as much time with each other and putting ourselves first, meaning that like whatever business we got going on, we dedicate time to each other. I think that's something that's really important to me.
I'll answer. I think it's a great question. I think it's an uncomfortable question.
It is.
For women. And this is what you preface with.
Yep.
One is, who am I, right? Like, I'm not a mom, and I respect my place in that world because I've seen how hard my mother went, and I know it's coming, but I'm not there yet, you know? So we don't understand the sacrifices until we're birthing a child. But two things. One is there's a book that I read called Maternal Desire. It's about a French woman, and I'm sorry, it's by a French woman, and she's a psychoanalytic, and so she has this really academic way of describing what maternal desire is. And I would love to meet a man who could recommend a book to me, who could say something like, hey, check out this book. So that particular book goes through like what it feels like when you really want to be a mom, right? Like that inner feeling, like I want to mother a child. I don't know what that feels like, but it shows up in our everyday lives at work. Like we're taking notes at a meeting when we're not even the secretary. We're bringing coffee to people when we're not even, you know, the intern. And so we're motherly in our ways. And so that book kind of like puts you in a position where you realize like, the only reason why I feel like I have to be a mother and a boss and a mother and a leader and a mother and this and a mother and that is society, right? And so once a woman as a woman understands, okay, I have a maternal desire and it is stronger than my desire to lead in tech or lead in corporate, then all the other stuff is irrelevant. And now I can work with my partner to develop a life or create a life that matches what I'm truly wanting. The second part is I would love to, you know, cohabitate with someone or go half on a baby with someone who could, you know, build in a way that we achieve financial freedom. Because when I think about how I was raised, my mother is a hustler, you know, and she's 51 years old. She's still going. It's all she knows. But if she had the free time to pour into me and to teach me and to talk to me every day and to bathe me every day, wow, how different life would be. So like, God, please let me meet someone where we can build to be financially free so we have time for our children. Parents don't have time for their kids. You can't be a boss mom and a boss leader at a company. You can't. Like this whole like women can have it all. I don't agree with it. You can't. You can't. You're gonna be a great mom or you're gonna be a great woman and nurture all of the people that you're pouring into at work. And if you're not great at both, right, you're gonna be mediocre at all of it. And so that's my opinion.
That's a great question. Did that answer your question? Yeah, that was perfect. I love that. Well, this is the end of the Women Empowerment panel. I am sad that we have to leave this moment, but please give them a round of applause. Thank you so much for sharing,
Thank you.
expressing
Thank you.
yourself, and helping us all learn. Did you all learn? Y'all learn something? Yeah, I learned something too.
Come talk
Facts.
to us after.
Yeah, exactly. Come, yeah, please go talk to them. Next up, we're gonna go ahead and keep it rolling.
Wait.
Oh,
Pause for 1 second. We're going to go through and share our handles of how to get a hold of us, because some of these questions I love, and I want you guys to keep asking. That's just going to help growth happen. So let's keep pouring into each other with that. So I'll start on all platforms. Well, on all platforms, depending on what it is. If it's like LinkedIn, I'm Gina, Gina, last name Shear, Scheer. On the gram, I am A_beautiful_mess. A beautiful mess with underscores between.
You can find me on LinkedIn, Instagram. On LinkedIn, Daphne Adeyemi, Dephanie. It's spelled like Stephanie, but with a D, and then Adeyemi. And then all my handles are at Deph, and then you'll find my business 98% as well, tagged to all of those.
I'm Corvea everywhere, Corvaya, my first name.
Sweet, beautiful. Well, thank you again. Give up one more round of applause for you all.
Thank you for having us.
Please, give yourselves a round of applause. What a lovely experience. All right, next up, I guess I'm making the introduction. We got Alec. Okay, bet. We about to spank some sponsors. Let's do it. Here we go.
Hey guys, thanks for coming. I think I met most of you. I'm Dom, co-CEO, co-founder of Mainstream. And Adam, co-founder and co-CEO of Mainstream as well. I want to thank some of our sponsors and partners, especially Boat. You guys have definitely showed out today. Blockhead Sports, man, amazing. Love to see what you guys were doing, as well as G Meta. Good shit, bro. You guys did exactly what you said you were going to do. This guy stayed up last night building out that metaverse. Shout out to you too, boss. I don't even think you got any sleep, right? All right. Yeah, and then Adam also wants to make an announcement too.
Well, first, I just want to say, again, thanks for coming. We've had great conversations, great knowledge base, different industries, different subjects. I hope you learned something, because that's the goal, right? Secondly, I wanted to announce that we just acquired a festival app, an event app that's white labeled for events like this, for festival grounds, for municipalities. So that's it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Woke up and bought a company.
Yeah, no, that's all. Yeah, but we're gonna keep it light. So I wanted to thank everyone for coming. And where's Alex? There we go, man. He's coming up next.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Adam. Shout out to Adam. He's about to get married. Give him a round. He's about to get married right here, and he's out here doing things. Oh yeah, right. And Corvea will be a test. Okay, perfect. I was just saying you would be accepting applications for boyfriends, and they all have to give her book suggestions. All right. All right, next up. Oh, you want me to sit next to you? I got you, brother. All right,
What's good? Testing 1, 2, 3.
Test. All right, if you're an artist and you still here, post up over here. If you're an artist, if you're creative, we're about to have some creative conversations. Thank you, women, again. I appreciate it, the support. Yes, sir. We about to have a conversation. What's up? This is gonna benefit all creatives. So stick around if you're creative. Stick around. Come join the conversation.
We're going to talk about crypto. We're going to talk about being black in crypto. We're going to talk about empowerment, what we got to do as a black community, all that.
All that. All right, so if you are chatting, if you can keep your chatting not to a minimum, but just down, if you will. Just quiet just a little bit. because trust me, you're going to want to hear this story. You're going to want to learn how to connect in this space from Web 2 to Web 3 to being a creative in the crypto space. So let's pop it up, Alex. All right. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Give us an introduction, who you are, and the company that you founded.
Wait till fight them down here.
Okay, all right, I got you.
Shut it out, like you did with them girls.
All right. Yo. I know that the women empowerment event was so dope. We're going to talk about it in just a second. But if you guys could please come in here into this space, underneath this awning, sit on the couches, listen up to this conversation. You said what? Oh, we're good. We don't need a 5-minute break. No breaks.
We're going
no breaks, all gas.
Back to back. What's good? So, as we do our conversation, just keep in mind any type of Q&A, any questions that y'all wanna pose. We're gonna do an AMA at the end. So, everybody in the back, feel free to come through.
Yeah, please come through.
It's gonna be more of a group conversation
than
anything. So, if y'all want to fill up the couches, we're gonna have a dope conversation.
Yeah.
So cool. Let's kick it off.
All right, let's kick it off. All right, Alex, we know your name. What is the company that you found? And tell us a little bit about Inflow.
Yeah, so my name is Alexander Yosef, and I am the founder of Inflow Music. What we do is we allow musicians, athletes, and content creators to launch their own cryptocurrency. And so currently, right now, we're at a huge point in time in history.
Wait, can you tell us again what it is that you allow creatives do? Because I don't think the people in the back heard us.
Yeah, so we allow musicians, athletes, and content creators to launch their own cryptocurrency and monetize with your community. So think about Coinbase for the culture.
Oh, Coinbase for culture. So how did you get into the space? Like, what inspired you? I know, for those of you who don't know, Alex was with us early on in founding a company called ETA, which was a recruiting company. So we started in corporate recruiting, started in tech. This was what Gina, infamously stated. We didn't know what the fuck we were doing. So, like, from that, how did that spin into the creative space that you're in, the Web3 space that you're in, and really being passionate about that?
Yeah, so absolutely. So like the ladies before us, they talked a lot about their passion, right? And mixing their passion with their purpose. And so essentially what I did was, when we were together, we was doing a lot of music work. And so when I started out in college and even after college, I worked in the music industry. I worked in tech at the same time. So essentially, I would be going from my 9 to 5 in my corporate office in the tech world, and I'll go straight to the studio where I'll be working with Josh. We would manage artists. We started managing a label, and then we started doing consulting, music consulting as well too. And so essentially what that did, it gave me a lens into 2 separate industries, right? It gave me a lens into the corporate world, how to build an application, what it took to run a tech company, and then what it took to manage an artist. And I realized that musicians, artists, the music industry in general is like so far behind. It's very janky how the music industry moves. Like, so I know y'all have heard it, right? The music industry is very bad, it's evil. We hear all this Illuminati stuff, right? It's only because they're taking advantage of the youth, the people that don't have lawyers to read contracts. And so essentially we want to bring an alternative monetization structure to that industry.
So bringing this structure to the music industry that desperately needs it, what is your approach? Like, how do you approach actually bringing this? Because we were there, we were in these studios where we witnessed just the shystiness, for better lack of words,
yeah, shysty
the shysty shit that happens in these spaces. So how do you bring structure to a space that's so shysty, and that's like for decades, right? Systemically shysty.
Yep, exactly. So raise y'all's hand if y'all invest in crypto. Anybody invest in crypto?
Oh, we got a lot of hands in here. Good job. Y'all invest in crypto? Oh, hey, we don't got no women investing in crypto?
Do y'all invest in crypto?
So we got to do some more empowering.
And so the reason, how we plan to approach and change the music industry is give people options, right? Yeah. So instead of signing that record label, that record deal, you have an option to monetize outside of that. So NFTs. Yeah. Crypto. So now that artist is not forced into signing that shitty record deal just because they have no way to make money, right?
Right.
They could do an NFT. They could launch their own cryptocurrency. They could just put out music and music videos. We know a girl named Latasha. Yeah. You have no clue who this name is, Latasha, right? Anybody ever heard of Latasha? Nobody's heard of Latasha. Yeah. She sold 3 music videos, one for $50K, one for $30K, and another one for $100K.
That's wild.
This is an unknown artist that nobody's ever heard of that's selling music videos.
Yeah.
For the prices of cars, right? She could buy houses with her music videos that she sold as NFTs, and so we're just trying to give them an option, so you don't have to sign that shitty record deal anymore.
Nice. So we talked about equity a little bit ago. What does this do for the equity within the community that you're trying to reach?
So think about it, right? What does equity mean? Does anybody in the crowd want to take a guess at what equity means?
Who wants to say? They said you own it.
Someone said ownership, right?
Ownership.
So equity is ownership. And so with our platform, what we allow people to do is launch their own cryptocurrency, their own token, their own stock, so to speak. So automatically you have ownership. That's like the biggest problem in our community right now is we don't own the shit. We don't own the buildings that we trying to party in, bro.
Right.
Like we don't own the record labels. We don't own the basketball teams. And so automatically you press a button, you log into our application, you own your own equity. You own your own stock. You own your own company, right? And so right off the bat, that's what cryptocurrency allows us to do. And then also it's permissionless. Permissionless. And so with cryptocurrency, permissionless is a big thing because now I don't have to get your permission to launch my own company, right? I don't have to do no legal paperwork. I have smart contracts that can automate a lot of this, right? And so now if we want to have a deal together, we don't have to depend on a lawyer to do the work. We depend on a computer to do that.
Right.
And so that basically, it removes all trust. I don't need to trust you.
Right.
We just need to trust the code, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You can read that. Everybody can read that.
Right. So open source, open code, decentralized. I just said 3 things. Talk about all 3: open source, open code, and just decentralizing the system. Essentially, when you talk about Web3, you're thinking about, the way I look at it, I think of essentially just getting away from the system, right? Mm-hmm. And you're now in charge of your own funds. You're in charge of your own investments. So tell us a little bit about that and why you're so passionate about that space.
Yeah, so open source just means that you could literally take whatever a company built and you can use it for your own gain, right? So you could copy and paste code that another company did and you could refactor it for your company. And so has anybody heard of OpenSea or NFT platforms? So every NFT platform, you can make your own in about 2 weeks. All you doing is copy and pasting the code, redoing the front end, and so that's what open source means, is that the people that's disadvantaged like me and you, we don't have to hire these huge development companies. We don't have to spend millions of dollars like investing in coders, right? We can literally copy and paste the code, use the front end, and we have access to everything. So that fixes access. So the biggest problem in our community is access, right? Access to capital, access to technology, and automatically it fixes that.
Wow. I mean, I hope you guys are paying attention because this is some groundbreaking technology from a young African American that is solving a really, really big problem in the music industry. And he is doing this through tech, which there's no really better way to solve problems and measure problems, to prove that you also solve problems, than data, than tech. So tell us a little bit of how you leverage the data that you receive, whether that's from the communities, from the artists, to really just propel inflow.
Yeah, like the biggest data that you could ever get is like actually being in the ground and doing it, right? And so when me and Josh first started out, we did recruiting, but we also pivoted into music. So firsthand, we was managing artists. We saw how like hard it was to put an artist and break them, right? So whether it's touring, we did South by Southwest multiple times and we held tours there. Whether it was getting funding from, merch or any type of design, whether it's like streaming, right? If you're an artist and you get 1 million streams, you only get $3,000. You can't even pay rent in LA, right, or New York. And so if you get 1 million streams, that's only $3,000. And so the payouts are shitty. That's because there's a control over it. There's a monopoly over it, right?
Right.
And so what we want to do is break that apart. And I know how to do that. We both know how to do that because we manage artists, right? We're in the ground level. And so essentially what crypto allows you to do is like not have any more excuses. And that's the biggest thing in our community, right? Like we always have excuses like, oh, there's a boogeyman, there's racism, right?
Right.
Racism is like the biggest boogeyman in our community, but that shit doesn't really exist in Web3, bro.
Yeah.
Because everything is equal. Like there's no way that you can have, and I tweeted this earlier, there's no way that you can have an HR inclusive diversity department in your Web3 company because it doesn't matter, bro. If people are not letting us into their Web3, their NFT platforms, we can just build our own in a month. Yeah, it's too early, right?
Too early for that.
Hey, raise your hand if you're worried about gas prices or if you've heard that gas prices are rising. No. I'm talking about real gas prices, right? He said real shit. That boy knows. So essentially, everybody here agrees that gas prices are rising, right? They're probably rising by like 5%. The average, so Ethereum in the past year, 2 years, it went by 3,000%. So now you're forced to diversify into another asset so you could beat just inflation, right? So inflation is at 5%. In crypto, you could put a US dollar, just hold it in your savings account, and you earn 20%. So off top, you beating inflation, right? And so crypto is like, you're gonna be forced to be into these systems because our dollar is becoming worthless. Like,
bro, could you explain that again for those who may not have heard either online, watching us live? Just to kind of just break that down from inflation. You said gas is raised 5%.
Yeah.
If you have a dollar in if you were to put a dollar in investing into crypto right now, you're upward of 20%.
Yeah, so there's these things called stable coins, and you can stake tokens and earn 20% on your money. Yeah. Right now, everybody here that has a Chase Bank or a Wells Fargo bank, you're actually losing 5 to 10% a year just on inflation. Right, so you're losing money by putting it in a savings account, right? And so
talk that shit.
I don't want to be conspiracy theorists, but your dollars doesn't really mean anything. Your dollars are really worthless, right? Yeah. And so what if you could put it into a system to where you can store value? And so when our currency collapses, you have a Bitcoin, you have an Ethereum, you have an alternative way, so then you could pay for shit like gas or food and water, right? Yeah. So I feel like right now cryptocurrency is a luxury, but it's really about to be a necessity. Like it's about to be like necessary to invest in it.
Yeah, this is something that Alex has been preaching for, like, since I've known him. Since I've known him, he's been trying to get me to invest into crypto. This has been
like
for a while.
2016,
like 2015, 2016. I think Eric might have told me back in 2013. Like it's been early on. They've been passionate about this, so he's clearly an expert at this level. And when I think about banks, I think about, like, it's just so weird that we trust someone, we go bring all of our money and we take it to them for them to hold on to. So what are your thought process, or not your thought process, but what are your thoughts on just like everyday banks right now?
Yeah, so banks are like necessary because you obviously have to move around in this world, right?
Right.
But there's going to be alternatives. And then just past banks, just like you got to build your own system, right? So you can have something called in-home banking, to where you can fund yourself. You can give loan credit to yourself. So essentially, how I
Wait, what is this called?
In-home banking.
In-home banking.
And also DeFi. So DeFi, that stands for decentralized finance. And so essentially, it's finance that has no central point of failure. A bank is a central point of failure because if a bank goes down, your money goes down, right? They control all the money supply. And so essentially with DeFi, you own your money, you have ownership, but that comes with a lot of security risk as well too.
Right.
And so essentially, just a story on how I funded my startup. I basically took loans against my money to fund my startup. So in Ethereum, you could actually put up $10,000 and you can take a loan out for $9,000, right? And so if your Ethereum goes up in value, you pay back your loan because the stock or the token went up in value. And so I basically funded my company just by taking a loan out against my money, you know what I'm saying? So
bro, he funded his company by taking a loan out against his own money.
Yeah, and so when
then pay himself.
So that lady back there, so that lady back there, she asked them. Nah, I funded
my. Say it slower. Say it slower.
So I funded my company by taking a loan out against my own crypto, right? And so that's because I couldn't get investors. And so that lady back there, she was asking what she could provide for us.
Yeah,
it's money, bro. We don't need support. We don't need tweets. We don't need retweets, bro. Like. We need money, bro.
We need capital.
We need capital, right? And
straight up.
I was literally down to like my last $5,000, and literally the top crypto firm in crypto in the world invested in me, right? And it wasn't because I knew everything. It wasn't because I could code everything. It's because I knew what the culture needed, right? I was black, and I could sell to the black community, and I could solve a problem that our community needs to be solved, right? Which is equity and ownership, and that's how I'm gonna solve it.
Damn. I'm just looking at this camera like, damn, it's crazy. So when you think about DeFi, right? Yeah, the ROI is crazy. The ROI on DeFi is wild. So like, tell us a little bit about like kind of how it works. So let's just say you were to, invest into a crypto, and you're using something like Uniswap, which is like, DeFi, right? And you're using a platform like that. Tell us about the advantages, because obviously you're not. it's not Coinbase, right, where you're being, taxed on the percentages of what you're making, and then it's like a circle, like, then it finally gets back to you. It's like it's actually even exchange. So tell us a little bit about that process.
Yeah, so raise your hand if you're an immigrant. If you wasn't born here, any type of immigrant, right? And so the advantage is that is you have a currency that's not controlled by a country, right? And so every day currencies collapse. My dad had multi-millions of dollars in a trust fund in Zimbabwe, and if anybody knows about Zimbabwe, the government overnight just changed their currency. So he lost all his money overnight. With Bitcoin, you can't do that. There is no old politician that's going to change the currency overnight, right? And so the advantages of DeFi and crypto is that like you have a trusted system that you don't need to trust because the computer code is trust. So it's like they call it trustless because you don't need to trust anybody for the system to work, right? Everybody has a stake in it. And so the main thing about crypto is that like you're not going to win unless everybody else wins. And so everybody wants to talk about like karma and like good energy, but like crypto is like really that in technology, right? Because I can't win without you winning. That's how the system, if I invest in you, I have to keep on investing in you, and you have to keep on working for both of our money to grow, right? You have to give me a reason to invest in you.
Right.
And so it's really about like an energy game. It's like money is energy.
You've said this before on the panel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
So I know we was on a panel, all three of us.
Yeah, you were on this panel too, Dom.
Yeah, at Microsoft.
Yeah,
at Microsoft. Yeah, and so
full circle.
And this is really a full circle moment because I started with Josh, but like money is energy, and crypto basically is a technology that measures that and lets you transact that and grow that energy.
Right.
And so that's the main thing. Like it's very esoteric once you get into it.
What's the word you just said?
Esoteric.
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 I don't even know that word. That's a deep word. All right, man. That's actually wild to really think about and to like wrap your mind around. Currency being energy. When you think about like the Targets of the world or like the Walmarts, these are like your safe investments. Warren Buffett talks about like, you look at the valuation of a company, right? And that's how you determine, how much to invest into it. What do you say to those who, are, cynical and like they're thinking and this new wave of thinking of like money is like energy? Like how would you convince someone like Warren Buffett that money is like a form of energy or the currency is a form of energy?
Yeah, so Intelligent Investor, right? So the book that made Warren Buffett rich is called Intelligent Investor. It was written by this dude named Graham something, this old white dude, right? And so essentially that book talks about you will get paid by the amount of energy that you output. It's a input-output, right? Yeah. You output a certain amount of energy, whether that's physical or non-physical, and then you're going to receive that back. And so a lot of the work that I did, like a lot of the work we do as founders is not physical handwriting, doing like typing a lot of work, right?
Right.
It's very much thinking.
Right.
So you're thinking about problems more than you're working about the problems, right? So you think about the problems, and that's putting in energy, and then that's reaped in the rewards of solving the problems for a monetary gain. And so Warren Buffett, I don't really have to convince Warren Buffett because he's not going to be here much longer. And I think he already invested in Bitcoin. So yeah. So, but really the basis is like you're going to make more money if you do something that you're passionate about. We've all talked about it. Tate talked about it. So that's the best way to make money is put in that good energy instead of that stagnated energy back into your business.
I mean, I think that was beautifully said. For those who don't even know shit about crypto, about investing, you can definitely understand this concept around energy. So like, I mean, I really love that. I love that concept between comparing energy and money. All right, so what would you give, or how would you give advice to someone who is in this room or in this, on this rooftop right now, who's never invested, doesn't understand what crypto is, doesn't understand what Web3 is, NFTs, they're so lost kind of in the sauce because it's just all in your face. Yeah. What advice would you give them to really just kind of take, bite-sized pieces to really understand this so that they're in a position of success in the future?
Yeah, bro, like the reason why you don't know much about crypto is because you haven't really tried, bro. Like I learned everything from YouTube. Like if you want to learn about crypto, just go into YouTube and start Googling random questions. Like it's not that hard, bro. Like everybody has like questions to ask about crypto, but like a 10-minute YouTube video will explain everything that you need to know, bro. So I think just the willingness to go out there and find that information to liberate yourself financially, that's where it starts. But really think about crypto as an alternative to the systems that are run by the people that we don't like, right? Why would you want to invest in Apple or Amazon when you can invest in Drake? That's what we're allowing to do. Why would you invest in Microsoft and Bill Gates when you could invest in Tom Brady or Odell Beckham, right? That's what we're allowing to do. So we're allowing the culture to create their own currency, right? Record labels can be spin up by high school students on our platform just because they come together, they launch their token, and now you can get passive income. You can get actual investments. And so I think it's just open up your mind, because the whole scarcity mindset is not going to work in crypto, right? You got to have the abundance mindset in this new age system, so you could think in a way that's going to reap rewards, like in a pure form, right? The capitalism does not work in crypto. Like, even though it's similar, some similar aspects, but like capitalism doesn't survive in crypto because everybody has to win. Capitalism is a negative sum game, so that means that one person has to lose for me to win. And crypto, like I said earlier, is a positive sum game, so both people has to win for us to win.
For everyone to win.
For everyone to win, yeah.
Yes, I love that. I love that. Did y'all hear that? Y'all get that advice? So statistically speaking, and we just had this, impactful women empowerment panel. Statistically speaking, women have a hard time investing outside of, outside of crypto, just in general, right?
Yeah.
From just overall statistically speaking, what advice would you give women who never invested before, don't really understand anything about investment? They just kind of either depend on like the system or depend on the first and the 15th. Shout out Daphne, or just depend on their man. What advice would you give them to kind of secure their own bag?
Yeah, definitely don't get with a dude that has no crypto. That's my first advice. So he can't
don't get with a dude that don't got crypto.
Yeah, that's a red flag. But the main thing is that actually there's a stat that says 1 in 7 crypto wallets are owned by women. So only out of 7, only 1 of them is owned by women, right?
Yeah.
And so definitely just jump into space. Ask me any questions, but really, women are better traders than men. This is statistically proven. Women are way better traders than men because they're more like risk averse, right? So they have a better not risk tolerance, but like a risk assessment, right? And so as a guy, if we make a day trade for $1,000, you're gonna go back and try to hit again, right?
Right.
Whereas a woman's gonna cut her losses and be very even though we're a lot more emotional when it comes to trading, right? Because we want to keep on hitting.
Yeah.
Where women are a lot rational when it comes to investing. That's something that I actually figured out when talking to a lot of women that ask me why did you keep on trying to trade after you already won and you end up negative for the day, right?
Yeah, you just can't.
And so naturally y'all are good investors and good traders, so lean on that. But I would just say invest in Bitcoin and Ethereum and start researching, right? Don't wait until you know everything to invest, because that's definitely gonna leave you behind. So just the YouTube University, man, that's how I scaled up to get investments from the top people. Is all my knowledge came from Googling and YouTube, and so all the information is there. This is the age of information, and then also I heard somebody say that this is the age of information, but it's also the age of intuition, because you got to decipher from the bullshit. And women have the best intuition, so leverage that. If you're a woman, leverage y'all's intuition to figure it out and sift through the bullshit. So
well said. All right, so this segment we're gonna open it up for Q&A, some questions. So if you have any questions in regards to Web3, we already got a question.
This guy,
crypto NFT. This has been our best support
question.
Questions.
Yeah.
He got questions on deck.
My question, the main reason why I have a question is because I lived on an island for a long time. So I'm new to all of this. So being new to this, you said YouTube is its best source. How do you filter through all that shit?
The views. Simple. People with the most views got the ratings and views. Like the best views. How do you figure out a YouTube video that you want to watch on a single topic? The one with the most views is usually the most knowledgeable, right? And so literally just Google top crypto subject matter experts and watch their YouTube videos, or Google top blockchain books and read those books, right? Don't try to overcomplicate it, man, because all the information is there, and the more information you know, you'll be able to decipher through what is BS and what's not, right? It's very hard to BS a new subject like crypto, right? It's like if you either know about it or you don't. So yeah, just put in the work, man. That's all it is. 2 or 3 hours a day watching YouTube videos. You're probably gonna be doing that anyways on Netflix or whatever. So just replace that. Reddit, yeah.
Yeah, Reddit for sure. Twitter. Yes, sir.
What would you say is the best or healthiest way to get into DeFi and also help people around me get into DeFi who may be more traditionally comfortable with traditional putting banks and like my family doesn't like cryptocurrency and I want them to like cryptocurrency.
Yeah. So you gotta definitely ease it to them if it's your family members. And with DeFi, it goes deep, right? So start with just the stable coin. So what a stable coin is just a US dollar version in crypto. So it's like $1. It stays at $1. It's never gonna go up or down. And you can earn 20%, 10 to 20% depending on the platform, right? So just look at Nexo, Celsius, Aave, so those are platforms to earn 20%. So like, let's say you have $100,000 every year, you're earning $20,000. That's the math right on that? Yeah. But so like, think about it, bro. Like you're having no risk, all upside 20% a year. The top if you invest in all the index funds on average in stocks, they're gonna earn you like 20%, but it's gonna be some risk.
So how's there no risk?
Because your money is insured, especially if you're on a more like secure platform. Your money is insured, but then also there's no risk because that dollar is not gonna go up or down. It's a stable coin. Because they don't know about it, they don't take the time to look into it, and they think it's like it's too good to be true, or patience too. If I'm a person, I just have $1,000 to invest. 20% a year is not that sexy to me, right? I'd rather invest in like Dogecoin or Bitcoin or something and try to hit big, right? They're trying to gamble. So I think slow and steady wins the race, and that's probably why it's not as popular, is because it's a lot more like methodical that you have to be. Yeah.
A great answer. Great question too, by the way.
Yep.
Yes, sir, Deb.
Yeah. So you're in NFT, you're kind of in that space, and also you got multiple tokens. How do you feel traveling? Multiple Discord, multiple rug pools, all that stuff. Obviously, research some of those aspects.
Yeah.
Research and then seeing views, likes, going against that.
Yeah. So his question was like, how do you filter through all the BS when it comes to like the NFTs and the Discords and the communities, right? And so. Yeah, absolutely. I think the focus is just on the art. Like NFTs is really about art. So once you start to get into I'm gonna put a picture of a monkey and sell it for $1,000, that shit's a scam, bro. Any like, don't even get into that because it's not an actual artist, right? So NFTs are just another version of a Basquiat. So look for that next Basquiat when you're looking for NFTs, right? Look for that next Andy Warhol, whatever. So focus more on the art. Yeah. Yeah. That you gotta be original, gotta be cool, bro. Like, yeah. Exactly. Cause think about it, right? In the metaverse, the cryptocurrency is a currency, and then the NFTs are the collectibles, right? It's like the non-fungible stuff, of course. And so, why would you make something that's like a copy of something? It just depletes the value, right? We like authenticity, originality, especially if it's digital, right? So. Focus. There's a lot of cool art, right, that you could buy and it could go up in value because it's actually art, right, and it's actually fly. So focus on that. Yeah. So if I would say if y'all want to talk about real estate land, those are the guys over there. Raise y'all's hand, Jay Crypto, Slice,
Real
all
estate,
y'all, bro.
yes, sir.
So they're the first person that put me on like actually flipping land. They're real estate developers and real estate agents in the metaverse, man. And so that shit's crazy
so
to
hard.
me. That shit is wild because you could literally build a mansion in the metaverse, drive traffic to it, have a billboard, get ads, streams, all that stuff. And so it goes deep, and this is the right people to be around for sure.
Yeah. And before the next question, I just want to pause really quick and just like admire the diversity in here. And the reason I say that is not only because it's something I'm passionate about, but if you think about, 20, 30 years ago, the .com boom, conversations like this, I'm sure it was just all white men sitting right here having these conversations, talking about what we were going to do with Web 2 and how it could be impactful and valuable to their business. I just want to take a second to just look around this room and see the diverse faces in here, and we're talking about something that we all get a chance to be a part of and be on the forefront of.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Entrepreneurship.
Exactly.
Yeah, before we get to the next questions, this is a full circle moment because, again, y'all heard earlier, I worked with Josh at the beginning, but actually before I even decided to go at the current project full full time and like actually go move to LA, I told you, he was the first person I told. He was like, bro, that's a perfect thing. That like that's your purpose, right? And so I want to give flowers to you, because a lot of people I would tell them about what I'm doing and they'd be like, they would flinch a little bit, and I was like, all right, I kind of like that you're uncomfortable, you know what I'm saying? That's why I know you ain't for me, but like you was definitely supportive, and I always go back to that. Like he was like, yeah, that's your purpose, so definitely want to give your flowers to you, bro.
I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Do we have any more questions? If we don't,
crypto questions.
Crypto question, yes, sir, Mr. Dom.
What's next for Inflow outside of music? Yeah, so right now, like I said, we let musicians launch their own cryptocurrency, record labels launch their own cryptocurrency, but we're going to really branch out into other verticals, right? Next is sports. We're ex-athletes. That's like really the pinnacle of our culture is music and sports, and so bringing that two together, imagine you get to invest in the next high school LeBron, right, or the next high school Odell Beckham or whatever, right? And so now we get to let the funny guy in the locker room that may not be as good, we get to let him have a revenue because he has a token, he has his own digital economy, right? And so we're going to go vertical by vertical for what speaks to our culture. Our culture wants to invest in music, sports, content creators, and we're going to expand from there. Yeah, so that's the same thing. So digital communities as well too. And so let's say so the quote that I've heard is that the riches are in the niches. And so if there's a community that likes basket weaving, right, letting them have their own token and invest in that. And so focusing on those like small niches, that's where really the money is going to be at. Especially when you have a purpose that like not a lot of people can replicate. That's where you make the most money. And so letting you directly, it's like you could do an IPO without all the paperwork, bro. That's essentially what it is. And so our community doesn't have $100,000, $500,000 to do an IPO on the stock market, but we could do it in crypto with 2 clicks of a button. So that's what's next.
Sheesh. Love that. Hey, do we have any more questions? Any more questions in regards to NFTs, crypto, inflow, Alex journey? Yes, sir. And we got one more question over here.
The ape coin, so that's pretty dope because it's already established. So the ape coin is essentially, you know, the Bored Apes, how all the celebrities got the apes on their profile pic. It's an NFT, right? But essentially they gave all the holders actual token equity and ownership and cryptocurrency attached to that. And so now that went crazy in price. One dude made $4 million. I ain't gonna lie, so I've been in crypto and I've just used applications and they've airdropped me. So when they airdrop you tokens, they just give you free tokens. I've gotten like 10K from an airdrop free just from using an application, right? And so ownership, again, that's another version of ownership beyond just an NFT, beyond. So now NFTs is like, yeah, you get the picture, that's cool and all, but like what comes after that? You get to go to the exclusive parties, Lil Baby performed at one of their parties, you get to have equity and tokens. So it's just an extension of the utility of like what you could value that you could provide to your company or to your community, because again, right, you ain't gonna win unless your community win, everybody else win. That's how it works in crypto.
Ooh, and the value, I gotta say, oh, yes sir.
So a big thing I think with ApeCoin as well is was the concern about the liquidity pool behind it. How do you protect liquidity pools when or create liquidity pools that are substantial enough to protect a coin on behalf of your company when you're releasing it for, you know, one of these artists?
Yeah, this is about to get really technical, but essentially, have you heard of bonding curves? So we have a different mechanism to where you don't have to create a liquidity pools. Anytime you put in money, your money is always there to be withdrawn back. And so that's how the price increases. Every time somebody buys a token, your price increases. So what's your name? Jack. So you launch a Jack token, right? Jack coin. And so every time somebody puts in money, the price of your token increases, but then their money is still there to pull out. And so you're almost like getting funded by the community, and the community is funding themselves as well too.
That's what I said. It's about the community.
Yes, sir.
Sheesh. Is there reinvestment fees?
That's what the artist makes. So like the artist gets money every time somebody puts money into their crypto, and it also goes up in value as well too. And so it's not just artists and athletes that's gonna be able to do this. Like everybody is gonna have their own crypto in like probably 5 years from now. It is a matter of like what you want to use it, right? It's like everybody having their own website. It's like that's really how it's gonna be. Because if you have a community, you have a business, people interacting with you, it's gonna be a dope way to make money because they're gonna win as well too. Price discovery, like it can't go like crazy up. It's like a scheduled price, a gradual increase. So it can't go like crazy up like Bitcoin or nothing, but it's gonna go up. Like you gonna turn like you know, it's gonna start off at like 0.005 cents and end at like $500, right? So you can make a lot of money in between that. So yeah.
Yes, sir.
How do you identify quality thought leaders or mentors in the space?
Yeah, so the only way that you could do that is you have to been in the space, right? So I'm able to decipher the bullshit from like the people that know what they're talking about because I've been in this since 2016. And so there's a quote that says, time in the market beats timing the market, right? And so the more time that you spend in the market as an investor or somebody that's just learning, you're able to like beat basically somebody that's just trying to go in and out, right? So just stay in it, always like keep on learning, and then you'll be able to decipher like, oh, I saw him say that and that's not true, so I know he's not like a trustworthy person. And so you can't really, it's like a coach, right? You can't know who's a good player unless you've seen 1,000, 1,000,000 good players. And so it just, you got to be in the space.
Great answer. Yes, sir.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey,
so,
could you repeat the question?
Yeah, so the
Alex?
question was, what utilities for outside of just buying and owning an NFT or owning a cryptocurrency do I see? And everything is in the utilities, right? The reason why you want to buy this picture of a monkey is because it's going to give you more access to more shit, right? And so what if you could buy Mainstream? They have their own token. You bought into their token, and now it gets you into all their parties. You get featured on their platform. You get access to their calls. What if you bought, you know, who's someone famous? A Drake token, and then now you get access to all his live streams, you know what I'm saying? You get to talk to him wherever. And so the utilities is what makes it important, right? There's no reason that I would buy this picture of a monkey if it didn't give me shit outside of just owning this picture of a monkey. And so like, and I use that example because that's what everyone's trying to do. But so on our platform, if you own an artist's token, you get access into their live streams, their studio sessions, unreleased songs, music videos, being able to call them, concert tickets, is really whatever they want to give you. Like we put the power back in the artists to like be flexible, like how you want to reward your community, and we let you run with it.
So it's really about the value that they create, that the artist creates.
Bro, literally, you will be broke in crypto if you don't create value for somebody else, and you will be rich if you create value for everybody else. Like that's how it works. And
Say
that's
that
how,
again?
You will be broke if you don't create value for everybody else. Like if you don't provide value, you will not get no value in return. Like these are like natural laws of the universes,
right.
And it works in crypto like instantly because that's how the systems were built.
One of my favorite quotes is, it's not about the value you are, but the value you provide, right?
Exactly.
So everyone is valuable. Everyone feels like they're valuable, but it's not just the value within. It's about the actual value you give. And yes, sir, did you have a question?
Yeah, so I was curious, how important is having an economy behind your token? How important is it?
The first step to having an economy is having your own token, right? Having ownership, right? And so the reason why there's a U.S. economy, a German economy, a Russia economy is because they have a currency attached to it. And so now you can have your own economy attached to your token, and you can provide different values, right? So the values that we just talked about in utilities, but also just a way for people to transact and, you know, have like money, right? Having money is an important thing to spend on different things. And so if you have your own economy to where people can spend on your utilities, your music videos, everything that you produce, that's the only way that you can have an economy to where that token is transacted. And so the first step into having an economy is giving people ownership, especially in crypto, right? See how it always comes back to like other people and what you can do for other people. And so, yeah, just provide value as many ways for them to reap the rewards of having that token or being a part of that economy. Exactly. Exactly. Yep. And so there's a term that y'all probably gonna see. It's called DAOs, D-A-O, and that's basically just a company run by everybody. So imagine if you owned a stock in Apple, And since you own a stock in Apple, you could decide what the new features on, right? I bet you we would make the screens indestructible or the battery life like long lasting, right? Why can't we make those decisions? Because we're the buyers. That's what a DAO and that's what crypto does. It basically allows you to have the power back to the community. You can vote, you can have the rewards, and money flows back to the community as well too. So look out for that term. It's called DAO, D-A-O. And y'all probably gonna see that like a lot more, you know, on IG and stuff too.
Boom. Speaking of IG, tell us where we can find. Oh, we have one more question. One more question. What's up?
You had touched on the 20% yield earlier. I believe Anchor Protocol also offers.
Anchor, yep.
Yeah, so my question is there any other like ways of getting passive streams with crypto other than the Anchor Protocol that you would recommend to someone who's new to the space?
Yeah, so the question was, so passive yield in crypto, how could you passively make money in crypto and gain money on, basically percentages, APY on your money, right? So there's yield, there's Celsius, there's Nexo. So Nexo is a platform that I use to take a loan out against my money and pay it back. So basically I paid it back when the value of the crypto increased in value, right? So those platforms, but really, it was J Crypto and Slice. Y'all actually said the best way to have crypto is not to invest in it, but to earn it, and right? And so now if anybody has a service like a videographer, you're a videographer, right? You should have actually told me to pay you in crypto. I would have done that too. Well, although I forgot, we could do that later. But so earning crypto as well too. That's another way, right? Because it doesn't hurt me. It's the same amount of money I'm spending. It doesn't hurt you. It's the same money that you're getting, right? And so earn crypto instead of investing it all the time. So you don't just have to invest in crypto. You can earn it in whatever you're doing already. Yep. Yeah, you should definitely have a community before you launch your token, right?
Yes.
Because then you're just going to be playing an uphill battle of you're just going to look desperate trying to get people to buy your tokens. So have the community provide the value first and then inject that capital into them. Yep. Exactly, and so now all the services that you already provide, whether you're a videographer or an artist, it gets boosted because now there's money tied to it. Exactly. Yep. Exactly, right? You just gotta be relevant and still provide value. It's always gonna come back to that, bro. It's crazy how with you, right? The first conversation you had to Gina was what's her passion, right? You probably was just trying to interview and see if this is the best person to work with, but you provided value by her discovering her passion, and that led to even stronger relationships and that multiplying y'all's business. So it's always gonna come back to adding value, and yeah, that's the message.
Sheesh. I mean, wow. Can we just give a round of applause for Alex Yosef? Alex, can you tell us a little bit about how we can find you, about your after party and your socials so we can connect with you?
So inflow_music on Twitter, inflow.music on IG. And then we have an after party tomorrow at the crib. So I'm gonna have flyers here. You feel free to pick up a flyer that Gina's holding. I'm gonna be passing them out. But we have an after party tomorrow at 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. We're actually launching our app Sunday, so we're gonna be live. If you have an artist that wants to launch your own cryptocurrency or a record label, if you want to start your own record label and launch your own cryptocurrency, we'll be live Sunday. So
live,
yeah,
live.
Pull up. My personal IG is Alexander_YO as well too. If you want to send questions or anything like that.
Well, yes, sir. We appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for who came out. We about to turn it over to Blue, who finna turn us up. Grab some drinks from the bar. Help support. I'm sorry. Oh, we're about to do some raffles. JK, we're doing raffles first before we turn it up. So pull out your tickets if you received a ticket. If you didn't, too bad. But hopefully we all have tickets. I mean, we might be able to get some light music going while we get the raffles. Maybe just a little bit, something slight. Yeah. Hey, shout out to Blue. He's been killing it today. I mean, DJ going crazy. We don't put it down.
never ignorant, nah, we never ignorant niggas, we never ignorant, nah, we never ignorant niggas, we never ignorant. Getting goals accomplished, we on top of the game, you can't stop this. We never ignorant, nah, we never ignorant niggas, we never ignorant, nah, we never ignorant niggas, we never ignorant. Getting goals accomplished, we on top of the game, you can't stop this.
I run from the cops cause niggas can't fly. They wanna lock me up cause my whip too fly. These bitches pull me over then make up a lie. Pull me on my whip, man, I hope I don't die. I try and calm them down, but the bitch won't listen. Breaking down my whip, trying to catch me slipping. Nah, I'm not against every cop that's living. Only them fuck boys trying to put me in the prison. The racist rednecks trying to fuck up my chest. A Confederate bitch should get dick in your neck. These African kids ain't about to calm down, cause colonial powers still trying to hold us down. We trying to unite, so we fuck with the Yankees. Watch me hold it down with my S.A. Frankie. Slapping some nacho, just eating on pasta. I fuck with Italians, but I was raised with the Rastas.
We never ignorant, nah, we never ignorant niggas, we never ignorant, nah, we never ignorant niggas, we never ignorant. Getting goals accomplished, we on top of the game, you can't stop this. We never ignorant, nah, we never ignorant niggas, we never ignorant, nah, we never ignorant niggas, we never ignorant. Getting goals accomplished, we on top of the game, you can't stop this.
Fuck that shit, it's about time I tell the truth. Schools don't teach the shit I spit in the booth. The real facts and truth, like the movie Root. They took us from Africa, took us out the womb, deported to the west, played us out like chess. 400 years we sat in that rotten mess, but it ain't all true. They left clues like blue. I seen a black man on an Aztec statue who did Columbus Eve when his troops showed up. Just some dark-skinned niggas and a Caribbean hut. We been out here, now it's all washed up. Sent by Egyptian kings, used to be bossed up. 100 generations later, watch me float. 100 J's in rotation on the west coast. The young black male, dog and shit, tuck your tail. Cause a real nigga bound to win, it never fails.
We never ignorant, nah, we never ignorant niggas, we never ignorant, nah, we never ignorant niggas, we never ignorant. Getting goals accomplished, we on top of the game, you can't stop this. We never ignorant, nah, we never ignorant niggas, we never ignorant, nah, we never ignorant niggas, we never ignorant. Getting goals accomplished.
9, 6, 5.
Who got a ticket? I don't see nobody.
Anyone? 9, 6, 5. Going once, going twice. Next up we have 9, 7, 6, 9. Woo! We got a winner. All right, give her a hand. Got a topo bag also. Let me see. Let me see. You're good. You're good. Okay, cool. I want to give you the announcement on that one. You announce it. All right. Next up, we have a bag from our friends at Rock Sound Rum. You have 3 different bottles of rum. They have been phenomenal drinks here. So if you guys have had any of those, they're great. 3 bottles of rum and a hoodie. All right, are we ready? Can I have a drum roll, please? Drum roll. 9, 8, 1. 9, 8, 1. Anybody? Going once? Going twice? All right, next up. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Anyone? Going once, going twice. Y'all should have stuck around, I'm just saying. Next up, we have 0, 0, 3. 0, 0, 3. Anyone? Going once? Going twice. You better make some noise if that's you. Next up, we have 1, 5, 0. 1, 5, 0. Anyone? No one? All right, next up we have 0, 2, 4. 024. Make some noise if you're here. Anyone? All right. Bro, I don't remember. I've called so many numbers. You better pay attention, Dev. What? Next up, we have 1, 4, 5. 1, 4, 5. Anyone? These people have already left. All right, next up we have 9, 7, 5. Oh, we got a winner. You can't open them up here. You gotta take them. You got people fighting over that. You had everyone on nerves for a while, no one was answering. All right, next up we're gonna do a $100 gift card to a local charcuterie shop from Blue Bonnet. That's all right, we'll get it, we'll get it. All right, we have 332. Woo! We have a winner. We take that out of it. Let's go. All right, next up we have a t-shirt and our plush toy from G Meta and the Roach Motel. Shout out to y'all if you guys are still here somewhere. There you are. All right, are you ready? The winner is 956. 956.
I'm over here acting like I ain't.
All right. Next up, we have 170. 170.
I'm not giving this one away though.
3, 2, 4. 3, 2, 4. Y'all better be reading your numbers correctly.
Wait, that's the last.
Last 3, yes, yes, sir. Now I've got you question me up here. 025. 025. Last 3 digits we're looking at. No one? All right, next up we have 336.
Oh, 337. That's close.
Oh, so close. 336. Anyone?
Go let your boy slide with
Maybe I'll pull it. Maybe I'll pull it. 992. 992. Anyone? All right, I'm pulling from the bottom. 992. All right, we have 174. 174. You should have told the buddies that you walked in with that they should have stayed. Could have had that. All right, next up we have 151. 151. 9. 151. 951. Anybody? 951. All right, this one's easy. 000. Anybody have the lucky ticket? 000. Make some noise if that's you. All right. 167. 167. Anyone? 997.
Oh, shit. That's 979.
997. 020. 020. Anyone? 009. 009. All right, if we don't get in the next 3, I'm going to combine it with another prize. 9, 9, 7. 9, 9, 7. What do you guys got? Yellow or red tickets? All right, we're going yellow. 9, 5, 3. 9, 5, 3. All right, you guys better be paying attention. 9, 6, 7. There we go. I knew it was gonna happen. I knew it was gonna happen. Oh, that third time's a charm, I'm saying.
After my combined prizes, I thought I was getting a good.
Not yet. You missed it by 1. You missed it by 1. Hey, that's still a great prize, though. Congratulations. All right, next up, we're doing a Kendra Scott set. It's a necklace and a pair of earrings. So, ladies, you better look at your tickets. If a man gets this, you better give it to your woman. Yeah, or you wear it yourself. Please do. Hey, 9, 5, 4. 9, 5, 4. Next up, we have 002. I've called 000, 001, 002. 993. 993. Do you have it? Oh, I was like, did you really have it? 328. 328. Yeah! There you go. There's a wedding gift for your wife coming up. Hey, if she doesn't want, I'll take it off your hands. I'll say that. All right. Next up, we have Gucci perfume. This is man and woman perfume in this. You guys better get ready. Inclusive cologne. That's what we're going with. Ready? They're up here. 144. 144. Yeah. I was like. All right. Next up, we have 962. 962. Anyone? Girl, I got a stack of tickets. If you weren't listening, I'm not going back through them. Next up, we have 161. Woo! There we go. Look at this. This is perfect for y'all. I knew you guys were going to win something. Asking all those questions and you're rewarded. There you go. There you go.
Hey, remember us doing due diligence now.
All right, we have one more raffle, and this I'm going to give Dom the mic to go ahead and announce, and then I will call the winner.
Alrighty. So this one was kind of a surprise, so we're gonna have to send it to you. We're gonna give away one more Oculus. This is from G Meta.
I hope you guys didn't leave early. All right, here we go. We need a drum roll, please. 972. I hope you live in Dallas. 972.
Next one. Call next one.
All right, drum roll again. 991. 991. All right, yellow ticket. 023. 023. 010. Anyone? All right, we're seeing red tickets. Here we go. Red ticket. 177. 177.
I'm trying to win this prize.
All right, here we go. 316. 316. Next up, we have 329. 329. Oh!
It gotta be void.
Let me see your ticket. Let me see your ticket. have a winner. Congratulations. You may have to share that prize. Thank you guys all so much for coming out. I wanted to give a quick shout out to our sponsors. Flash Party Photo Booth for the incredible photo booth. Once in a Blue Moon for our balloons over here. Hint Water, Topo Chico. Our wonderful DJ, the Sensei Blue. We have Blockhead Sports, Bolt Culture, Warrior GMR Foundation, G Meta and the Roach Motel, Inflow Music, Lambo GoPro, Rock Sound Rum, man, I got a lot, sorry. Gen Makers, and of course, Mainstream House. Thank you guys for coming up. Dom, are we good? You guys have a great night, and you guys be safe.
Let's get it going. We finna have a good time just a little bit. Just vibe a little bit. We on the rooftop. Yo, I go by Black Pat, and I got the Sensei Blue next to me. Let's get this thing rocking. Let's go.
Zay got the motherfucking bass. Zay got the motherfucking bass.
Let's go.
I don't fuck with these
okay, y'all.
They shady. These bitches, they just wanna have my baby. Born in the 80s.
Crack baby.
Mama, she was in the street, so guess who raised me?
Not sweating. If we don't win, we get the next one. Then the checks come, I'm betting. Like check done, that red run. Spread love, investing. Get your nest up, fuck a mess up. Stairs while I step up. No one expects to get less. I shed stress. Fuck life, she's a bitch. Yes, the bed's a mess. I could barely rest. No saints, still heaven sent. Down since element. Singing girl like LMA. It's a dinner date. Squeeze that ass like lemonade.